Welcome everybody to another episode of SEN Live here on a lovely Wednesday morning. It's hump day! That's right, that means you gotta get it going. You gotta put some bulletproof coffee in your body. You gotta shave your balls with some manscaping or your other places if you want. And get going with your day, with your week. And we can't thank you enough for stopping in with us and having a little fun with us as we get you going with the middle of the week here. Maybe on your lunch break and you're just kind of mad that you're back at work. People aren't wearing their masks, or people are wearing their masks. Wherever you fall in this situation and you need a little pick-me-up, a little fun, well, that's what we're here to do. So I'm sitting in for Christian Harloff. I am the outlaw, John Rocha. I'm joined, as always, by Brett Sheridan, sitting in front of his marital bed. Good to see you.
Hello.
Ben Goddard down there having taken a shower. You can tell by the product in his hair. How are you, Ben?
I don't like the way you introduced me, and I just feel like I got to drop 30 on you now, Rocha.
Don't put Ethan Irwin in front of me, son. Sabrina, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here with Kate. So excited about that.
Wow.
And everybody else. I just am never with Kate, so this makes me really happy because she's so vibrant.
We caught the shade, Sabrina. We caught the shade.
Yeah,
that's all right.
And also you guys a little bit, but mostly Kate.
We're training her well, the Finstock Exchange. Shade, and then no, I didn't mean that. RV3, how are you, my man?
I'm good. Excited for today's show. I think we worked out most of the tech stuff. And I just love, by the way, can I just say, I love that, like, you guys, no offense, Brett, but you and Christian had, like, weeks of bad shows, like, and we have one, and all the comments are like, oh, you can't get the tech issues right, I'm leaving the channel. Like, shut the up.
Actually, you should have known what you were doing if you had enough time.
Not really. I mean, like, really setting up the tech and, live streaming is just so.
Well, maybe for those people that are commenting, I can kind of explain to them that this is a completely fucking different setup.
I mean, if you're going to allow the black man to handle things, I mean, Kate Mulligan, how are you, Kate?
I'm in front of my marital wall.
Hello.
Waiting on that joke for so long.
And I'm in front of my single forever shelf.
You sure are.
My favorite is Sabrina nodding. Yes, you are.
Yes,
Single forever.
very true.
Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to get to. We got a lot of news dropped. Just because films ain't in production or stuff ain't showing doesn't mean there isn't a lot of entertainment news to talk about. So, Ben, get us going, my man.
We'll start with the cover story. We got Charlize Theron talking about the Mad Max Fury Road. There's been talk of a Furiosa prequel from the very get-go. As soon as this movie came out, people wanted to see more Furiosa. We didn't know if it was going to be a sequel or a prequel. Announced that it was a prequel. Anya Taylor-Joy was suspected of being cast. I don't know if that was a rumor or confirmation. A while ago we did that story.
Yeah.
And we've got a quote from Charlize Theron. It's a tough one to swallow. Listen, I fully respect George, if not more so, in the aftermath of making that film with him. He's a master, and I wish him nothing but the best. Yeah, it's a little heartbreaking for sure. I really love that character, and I'm so grateful that I had a small part in creating her. She'll forever be someone I think of and reflect on fondly. Obviously, I would have loved to see that story continue, and if he feels like he has to go about it this way, then I trust him in that manner, end quote.
Yeah. So
how do you guys feel? Because I know everyone was excited when the prequel got announced, when Anya Taylor-Joy got announced. I don't know if that's official or not. I remember reporting that. But how do we feel about it? Like, I didn't know Charlize Theron wasn't on board with this. I thought she was okay with moving on from the character, but it feels like she really wanted to do this sequel.
Yeah, I mean, we turn it over to the ladies on this one. I mean, George Miller is who she's referencing as the director. He's done all the Mad Max films. But yes, it's supposedly Anya Taylor-Joy and Jodie Comer. So, Kate, Sabrina, what do you guys think about this?
Well, I think this is a really iconic character, and Charlize Theron has talked about how much this character means to her, so I understand kind of her feelings. I really do wish they went with sequels and kept with Charlize Theron instead of doing a prequel, but I do like that this is going to be focused on Furiosa because she's such a badass, strong, woman, and that's what I want to see on screen. So as long as they keep going with that, which I know they will, I'll be happy with it. It is kind of disappointing, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like she is so iconic in the part too. Like, I feel like when people talk about that Mad Max, like she's everything, right? I mean, she's so good in it. But I guess I would prefer that, like, if the option is, like, if they're doing a prequel, I guess if the option is to de-age her, like The Irishman, I never miss a chance to shade the Irishman. Then I guess I do prefer it be a different actress, but it's just like I don't know. It's also it seems so like
you don't want
it sounds like she's being respectful.
You don't want like Diane Lane, who's only 3 years older than her, to be like, "Oh, what are you doing over there, kid?"
Exactly. I don't want to see her trying to curb stomp somebody and like see how old their body is.
Oh, that's a terrible scene.
_Dick_Pants donated $20. Kate, are you going to rock out on Sabrina's chest now?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh
no! Don't do that.
That sounds intriguing. Wait, what?
No, the answer is yes. Why are you guys saying no? Don't answer for us. Yes.
I apologize. You're right. It's 2020. Sorry. You guys can
I
speak
thought
for
they
yourselves.
meant it in a
Oh
gross
no!
way.
I just meant we got to put it on Patreon. That's what I'm saying.
Actually, we can put it on my Patreon, Kate.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Look at that. 5 minutes in, Sabrina, plug it. I respect it. Listen, I totally understand where you're coming. But the thing is, they also talked about Jodie Comer or Anya Taylor-Joy. So I personally would side more on the Jodie Comer side of things. The thing that's curious to me is, yes, she's a badass, but she was also captured by this guy. So how are we leading up to where and Parrington, or whatever his name is, Joe, captures her and their tribe and puts them under his control, because she does eventually become a part of them, right? She kills and for him, and Morton Joe kills for him, loses her arm. So how far are we going back in the prequel? Does it end with a Morton Joe showing up, because we know what happens from this point forward? I'm curious about that.
I thought like she got captured as a young kid, because like when she gets reunited with the other ladies in Mad Max Fury Road, I thought she got like kidnapped. I haven't seen Fury Road in a while, so I need to rewatch it. Maybe someone in the chat can help us out with like the timeline of it. But you're right, like I hadn't thought of that either, because I remember like, because she doesn't recognize the women in like they recognize her,
right?
But she doesn't recognize them for a second. So yeah,
is she a badass for the villain in this prequel? That's going to be confusing, I think.
Or does she get made into a badass? Yeah,
like it's like. Oh, go ahead, Robbie.
I
was
definitely gonna say we're probably gonna see her like how she lost her arm. We're gonna see how she got like the driving skills. I mean, she had a reputation like at the start of the movie, so like I'm sure we're gonna see like how we're gonna build that reputation up.
I hope it's like a Hot Tub Time Machine with Crispin Glover, where they keep thinking he's gonna lose his arm, and then it doesn't happen throughout the entire movie.
Or like Captain Marvel, when we keep thinking, oh, we're gonna see the eye, and it's just a cat. Like,
yeah.
But Brett, do you have any thoughts on this one?
I was just gonna see. I wanted to see what RB3, because I mean he's definitely put this in one of his top films many times, I believe, and I wanted to see if this was disappointing news to him, because I mean I love the film. I didn't have a horse in this race, but I wanted to see what RB3 thought about it.
Well, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it is really disappointing to me, and I think it's disappointing on the fact that we're not seeing Charlize come back, and I think it's disappointing that she's heartbroken about it, and I think it's just to add to the greater conversation of ageism in Hollywood. Like, I don't see any reason why Charlize Theron can't go out there and kick the same amount of butt as Anya Taylor-Joy or any other young actress. Like, so I don't know. It is kind of sad, but what's going on over there?
I'm sorry. Look,
is somebody's house being built?
Yeah, they're terraforming. Obviously, Zod's outside terraforming the Earth right outside my house. So I apologize. No, they're still doing the earthquake retrofitting.
I can explain this. Rocha was around with Noah with the Ark, and then Noah was like, I can do this better.
They don't mind Rocha. Hess jealous that no one has rocked out on his chest since fighting cavemen in the Stone Age.
Anthony Nugent.
Wow, haven't seen him in a while.
Anthony Nugent, is it me or you that hasn't had someone rock out on the chest for quite some time?
What?
You don't catch me hanging out on a show for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? I take care of my business.
Wow.
Anyway, let's move on.
Ignore him. Wait, the retrofitting, by the way, that retrofitting for the earthquakes, Rocha, that when we moved into our house, like that was one of the things they recommended that we do, because this house survived the '94 quake, but it didn't.
Right.
Like they're like, we don't know what the next one is. So I was like, thanks. That's fantastic. But anyway, so it was, I'm not kidding, I've never heard noise like that in my life for 2 straight days.
Yesterday was the worst because we were
I feel in my teeth.
We're having the doors switched on both rooms. So the guy was here for like 2.5 hours switching the doors, because the office is kind of awkward walking into. I was smashing lights all the time. So we had the door switched. At the same time, they're doing the earthquake retrofitting. So my girlfriend just ran out of the house at one point. Was like, I'm going to kill everybody. And I was like, I get it. So we drove.
Like, they bolt the corners of your house.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I would feel that noise in my teeth. It was like, and also we had an 18-month-old baby at the time. Like, Neil was 18 months old.
F
I was
that
like,
noise.
oh God. I was like, could you guys maybe take a break for the 2 hours he's napping? And they're like, you're insane. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Well, speaking of destruction, anyway. Star Wars at 3 p.m. The final's happening. Andrew DiMolanta and Ace Cabrera, who RB3 is unfortunately way too much of a fan of. They're going at each other for the final here to see who's going to win this Star Wars tournament. Are you guys excited by this? I mean, this looks to be like one of maybe the greatest matches we're ever going to see in the Schmoedown.
I don't think anyone was ready for how good this Star Wars tournament was going to be.
Agreed.
I think everyone was like, hey, we like Star Wars. And even like, we'll experiment with online with Star Wars. You know, it's the smallest league. Like, we can do a nice little 8-person tournament. And these games have all come down to the 5-pointer. These games have all been nail biters, whether they're perfect games like, Andrew and Scrimshaw, or like bar fights like we had with Adam Witt and Molly Damon. Like, they're just all amazing matches, and we have the favorite kind of. We knew how hungry DiMolanta was, upsetting Scrimshaw, and then everyone was like, he's a shoo-in for the finals. And then we have the Cinderella story with Ace, who's not the Cinderella anymore. He's the first 3-0 Star Wars competitor, and he's the favorite of this match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And rightfully so, because
good banter.
No.
There's always that pause to see who's going to talk next.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the online thing.
It's the Zoom pause.
It's the Zoom pause. That Zoom pause.
But I definitely think, like you said.
Anthony Nugent donated $20. Sorry, you're right, Rocha. We catch you hanging out on 30 shows and podcasts everywhere.
Yeah.
Compensating, maybe? I love you,
No.
Rocha.
Making money, son. Making money, Anthony. That's what I'm doing. Making money. I don't know what you're doing, Anthony, but I'm making money.
I think Anthony owns a bakery.
Yeah.
Oh, a bakery.
In Australia. I think he does.
Maybe
I'm wrong about that.
You should keep giving him shit so he doesn't come to any of your 30 shows and throw money at him.
Send me some pecan pie, Anthony.
Listen, Anthony, I'll tell you what. Anthony does well.
Anthony can rock out on my chest any day.
Oh! All right. You guys knock yourselves out with that.
I'm just being serious. Come on, people.
I can't wait till you explain that to your mom later.
Whoa.
Already had to.
Nice.
Anthony and his lumps. All right, what's our next?
Go ahead. Ace Cabrera.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You shouldn't be questioning his skill anymore. You shouldn't be questioning his prominence.
I agree.
You shouldn't even be looking for him to make a slip up or miss a question, because as you've seen,
True.
He's been throwing the hardest questions in this entire league so far. You look at his match with Ken Knapsack, this dude was getting 5-point questions in the first round, and guess what? He still won. He took Laura Kelly, who literally missed only 4 questions or something like that leading up to that match. And he beat her by playing a perfect game. So I expect this to be a firecracker of a game. Like I think this is probably going to be one of the most exciting Twitch streams. I know I'm gonna check in as soon as is happening. And right after our first cut, we're doing a live response at 6:00. So if you want to come in, check in. We're going to be celebrating the future Star Wars champion Ace Cabrera after his match. So be sure to check in. It's going to be fun.
I agree. I mean, everyone thinks Ace is going to win. So it's just, everyone has it already put it in this like that Ace is going to win.
But that's not what we want, right?
DiMolanta's the underdog. So I don't know how Ace can handle the pressure here because, DiMolanta's the underdog now because everyone thinks Ace is going to win it. Sabrina, don't you think?
Well, the thing is, I think both of them are super hungry and super great competitors. I think it's really going to come down to whoever slips first.
Yeah.
And we don't know. It could be anything. The thing about this, it's up to chance. There could just be a question that somebody doesn't know. It'll be in their blind spot. Yeah. And I think that's the way it's going to go. I think we're going to go into overtime. I think we're going to go through all of that. I'm so excited. I think both of them are great competitors, great people. And these promos, they've been killing it. I am so into this. I'm so ready for this. So, yeah.
But you're cheering for DiMolanta, right?
Yes.
Because you're Finstock Exchange.
That was rough.
Just want to make sure that's clear.
Wow. I'll tell you what. RB3 has explained to us that the Ace's drive comes from being underestimated. So I'm going to go out there right now and I'm going to say, Ace could never win this thing.
Nope.
He's not good at all.
Yeah,
Right.
keep hating. Keep hating.
Yeah, Di Milanta, same thing. Nobody
do
believes
it,
in Di
Ace.
Milanta. Nobody believes in no matter what he's proven, they still think he's going to slip up or answer too quickly or make a mistake. So it's the same thing. Both these gentlemen are underdogs, I think, coming in for different reasons. And so they both got something to prove, and it's going to make for a titanic clash. Brett, thoughts on this?
I just know Ace personally that he is like so even keeled or whatever, and he's not going to let anything phase him. Just I've seen him in situations like tech situations where he is just like, and I would have been throwing shit around and asking for thumb drives, if you know what I mean. So if you know, with his demeanor and his drive, I've got Ace. So, and he's also, you know, he's kind of a pretty decent kid too.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's good. And a Latino brother. So you know, quietly.
That's also
Unlike-
what I
I
just.
got to cheer
Hector.
for him quietly. So.
Unlike Hector Navarro.
Yeah, no. What about Hector Navarro? Were you in for
What
him?
about Hector
Unlike-
Navarro?
He's not. We know now he's not Latino.
No,
Yeah, Robert Jones. That's his actual name. Look it up. Find his birth certificate, for God's sakes. All right, let's move on to our next.
Birtherism?
Birtherism. What's our next item?
Birthrism.
Brett, what you got for us?
I'm gonna read him manscape birthrism. Listen, fellas, you prepared to unveil your summer bod? I know I'm not. Manscaped is here to ensure that your post-quarantine body is ready for the wild. So don't be the guy at the beach with a bear rug on your chest. And if you have grown some quarantine man tits, which I have, at least you can make sure that they're hairless. Oh, nobody likes a hairless man tit more than me. Personally, I just actually, no joke, broke mine out the other day and just took care of the whole body. I didn't stop there. I did armpits, did my chest, did my legs, everything. And I'm feeling my fighting game is on, and I might actually start working out. So Manscaped is dedicated to helping you level up your full body grooming game, which I did. They have forever changed the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0. The Perfect Package 3.0 comes with the Essential Lawnmower 3.0 waterproof cordless body trimmer and tons of other liquid formulations to round out your manscaping routine. This is the best manscaper, best trimmer on the market. If you need a chest shave, like I said, I shave my chest, and I've done it before with other razors and it end up being all itchy. This feels nice. The third generation trimmer features skin-safe technology to reduce manscaping accidents, which I have had, and it's a bloody mess. Don't give yourself an accidental nipple piercing. Just do those on purpose. You can also adjust the length if you like and stay on top of your game. You can even trim an arrow pointing at the promised land if you're bold enough, or maybe a no symbol if you don't want anybody going down there. Like for Kate. Be sure to use the crop cleanser to keep your hair and skin healthy. It's an all-in-one formula, so it's good for healthy chest hair and it's good for skin. So inside the Perfect Package, you'll also find the Manscaped Crop Preserver, which I just used this morning. It's a little spray, a little spritz of toner, keeps things nice and smelling nice down there, and prevents chafing, and doesn't, you don't want your legs rubbing together, especially if you've grown those extra body fat and man tits during the quarantine.
God.
Hey, come on, we're all eating pasta every day. You'll also find the Crop Reviver, which is the toner. Yes, that's what it is. And it'll give you a little pep in your step. So subscribe today for the Perfect Package and get a new blade refill for the lawnmower trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months. Okay, so for a limited time, subscribers get 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag and the patented high-performance reduced chafing Manscaped boxers, which are ball heaven, and that I wrote that myself. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SEN20 at manscaped.com. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job. So that's 20% off, free shipping with code SEN at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code SEN. Trim your chesticles with the besticles.
Woo! Hey-o! Nice.
Nicely done.
Oh.
I actually just used that lawnmower thing over the week. It's really good.
No, it's nice.
Yeah, we can
no
hear your
cuts,
lawnmower
nothing.
in the back, too. That's going on as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Rocha, definitely during the ads, don't mute yourself while everybody's banging around you.
jeez,
I'm just manscaping. All right, let's move on. What's our next thing?
I can't believe I just saw it on my computer screen right now.
All right, so we've got Jude Law in talks to play the villainous Captain Hook in
Why?
Peter Pan and Wendy in the next Disney live-action adaptation of Peter Pan. Pete's Dragon, Old Man and the Gun director David Lowery is on board to direct the project, written by Tony Halebrooks. There's other, like we've had Dustin Hoffman, Jason Isaacs, Christopher Walken, Garrett Hedlund also play Hook. Why are we having another Peter Pan? Do we need another Peter Pan? The answer's no.
The answer's no!
But do you like Jude Law? Because apparently we're getting one.
Yeah, I mean... Sorry, go ahead, Kate. Go ahead.
Nope. You.
No. I was just going to say, like, even though we've had a lot of live-action Peter Pans, we haven't had, like, really a good one. So if they're just
shots at Hook,
if they're just,
Isaac's underrated.
Well, I like Hook, but but people still, it's divisive. You know what I mean? So I think I just if they're gonna try and make a Peter, I just want them to make a good one. Like I don't want Pan. I don't want what was that? I just do a good job. Hopefully, or and. I think Jude Law's a great actor. That's what this, and I love David Lowery like as a director, and I love Pete's Dragon. But yeah, I hope it just doesn't like suck.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. Oh, sorry.
I
was gonna say that I feel like Jude Law has the same appeal to me that Johnny Depp does, in the sense that I'm like, oh, I know he's a great actor, and like I would have never guessed that Johnny Depp would have done with Jack Sparrow what he did with Jack Sparrow. So there is part of me that's like, I feel like Jude Law is capable of that same sort of silliness. I can't point to like when he's been silly or when or when he's been evil, but I could see him doing something big with this part, so I'm happy with that casting. But I do question, like, they've already done a live, I mean, Allison Williams was Peter Pan, right? Am I thinking of
that was the Christopher Walken one, the NBC live performance.
And so is that what they're saying, Disney's This is not the live. This is the
right.
So the remake of the animated.
But Finding
Peter
Neverland. I mean, it does seem like Peter Pan just won't go away.
Yeah, it's like he won't grow up.
I was waiting for that.
No, Brett. No.
Not mad at you.
But he has a little.
Well, Sabrina, look,
I would have gotten booed off the show if I had said that joke.
True, very true.
I thought that was a snipe. I thought it was a half snipe.
Half snipe.
It was a half snipe.
Sabrina, you're the youngest one of us. I mean, like, do you want to see another Peter? Because like the older people, we've seen multiple versions of this. We've got our own point of view, but do you have a different point of view? Like, you'd like to see this version with Jude Law stepping in as a kind of a newer approach to it?
Yeah, I actually really like Jude Law. I think he's one of my favorite actors when I was a younger kid. I don't even know why. But so I think this could be really cool, like a really cool role for him. But I echo everything RB3 said, where it's kind of like, if it's good, cool. If not, it's just another one in this bunch that's just like subpar. And it's not really exciting news, but if it ends up turning out good, then I think it's a cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys think it's going to be a Disney Plus or theatrical?
Well, they said theatrical. It was originally going to be Disney Plus, but they changed their minds now, and they're angling towards making it a theatrical thing. So we'll see. What do you guys think?
So was Artemis Fowl. And
yeah, fair.
Woof.
But I think David Lowery. I mean, we can't doubt him because I think he literally. I think he's an Oscar nominee. And again, I don't want to underplay Pete's Dragon because Pete's Dragon is literally one of the best live action adaptations that they did recently, and nobody saw it. So,
nobody went to see that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know they did.
I do like Pete's Dragon quite a bit.
Yeah. I hope they continue and like. I hope that this Peter Pan is like that because Pete's Dragon is like comedic and a little bit dramatic, but it leans a little more on dramatic side for most Disney movies. So I hope that they continue. I hope that that's what this Peter Pan is. I hope it's a little not just the silly, goofy stuff. It's a little more, a little more grounded.
I liked Old Man and the Gun. I don't know if anybody saw that. That was actually a really nice, relaxed movie with Robert Redford and Sissy Spacek. Yeah. And Casey Affleck. I was really surprised at how much that film did not bore me or did not have me going, it was actually really interesting to watch. So he knows how to tell a small story or a larger story, depending on the situation.
One of Sabrina's favorite, too.
A Ghost Story from 2017.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah,
also
like one of the most beautiful films that I've ever seen in my entire life. And I think so he just really has a knack for like grounded storytelling, even like at something that's like a larger scale, because that's like a whole cerebral celestial type of story, and he just really grounds it down. So I'm excited to see him do it.
Respect.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I really want Robin Hood to be remade live action, but I want them to still use the foxes as the lead. I want them to get foxes to act.
Yeah, I can see that. I like
I
that.
think they're going full Lion King with like the realistic CGI. With
Wait, are they really doing it?
No,
I think
please
so.
God, no, please God, no.
I was. You know, it's not good if I do it as a bit.
You know what? I'll never understand how people like that new Lion King. I don't get it.
Yeah, $1.6 billion, man. It's mind-blowing.
So nuts.
You know what's good, CJ? Last night I was watching the finale of What We Do in the Shadows, finally, of the second season. That doll, that little doll that speaks, that is some scary-ass shit. If you could do that and put it into a movie, that's what I want to see. That's the kind of nuttiness I want to see.
Why haven't I seen that yet? What platform is that one on?
It's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu right now.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
It's so good.
New show.
Yes. Jesus, you'll love it, Brett.
You will burn through it so fast.
Yeah, it is
2
such an
seasons,
easy
10
watch.
episodes. Like, oh my God.
But
It's so fun.
Brett, you have to finish happy. You have to finish happy.
Let's talk about Happy.
I need a little palate cleanser after all the happies I've taken in, and I think that What We Do in the Shadows might help with that.
Yes.
And then I'm going to follow it up with Vanilla Sky.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Just a quick reminder, we do have the Schmoebot on, the Streamlabs are up, Superchats, keep sending them in. You know, you guys love us hanging out and doing whatever we do every day. You got to support the show. Send in support for the show every day. Get us to the high number. You know, come on, bring it all in. It's hump day, it's Wednesday. We're entertaining you. Send in some stuff to get us over the hump. All right, what we got next?
If you like Anthony Nugent, want to spend money to have Rocha talk shit about you, send in the Schmoebots,
come on, Anthony.
If you want to have your career life choices questioned by one of our panelists, send in a Schmoebot right away.
Send me a pecan pie, Anthony. I want to find out how good you are as a baker. All right, let's go.
So we have breaking news. I just refreshed our horizons. We've got some Universal delays, which are expected, but, you know, we got to report them. Halloween Kills will now open up October 15th, 2021. And October Halloween Ends, which is going to be the end of the trilogy, will open up October 14th, 2022. Yeah. The Forever Purge is pushed back to July 9th, 2021. And Candyman, Nia DaCosta's Candyman, which that trailer went over very well. Oh, did you see that new trailer with the puppets?
Oh, I thought that was...
Oh my God, it was so good. Is pushed back to September 25th. September 25th to October 16th of this year. Okay. So Candyman is still on track for this year, but we have a bunch of Universal pushes back to last year. How do we feel about that? Were we looking forward to any of these films?
Well, I'll do my sound effect in surprise. And the Candyman, I thought that was the only trailer. I thought you were saying there was a new one, but I will back Ben up. That is insanely good. The one with the little paper cutouts and stuff like that. Yeah,
there's one where they tried to kind of do an Us thing with Say My Name, and it didn't work that well. But the movie looked interesting. But this last trailer with the puppet was terrifying.
I mean, oh God, yeah. But yeah, I mean, anybody surprised by this?
Well, I'm surprised that Candyman thinks they're opening this year. That's the surprise. I'm like, Candyman. Yeah. Pick a date in 2021.
Candyman.
Well, I mean, it's already so crowded in 2021. It's already hard to imagine where there's going to be a slot. So
if you've been hesitating, starting a YouTube channel to review movies, start it now, because 2021 is like every week you're going to be able to talk about 7 films a week, for God's sakes.
Or just watch this one.
You know that old saying, you learn something new every day? I had no idea Glenn Close was in Hook and played a male pirate. That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Neither did what's-his-face. He didn't get it right in the Schmoedown. Who was it?
Bibbs.
Yeah, neither did Bibbs.
Oh, wow.
I'm surprised he didn't know that, because I feel like that was like one of those Facebook fun facts going around for years and years and years.
Well, when you study Day of the Dolphin and its sequels, something slipped through the cracks because you're focusing on those terrible films.
Also, I'm calling a yellow flag on the play. How dare you not know Bibbs' name? That what's his face?
I forgot who it was that got it wrong.
I'm
old, Kate. I forget
mom
things.
thing you've ever said, Kate. I'm calling a yellow flag on the play real quick.
Yellow flag. Well, I gotta do his soccer talk. Yellow card. That makes sense to you? You just got a yellow card.
All right,
That's
Karen.
a warning.
I'm sorry, Karen. Bibiani, I'm sorry.
So, were you guys looking forward to Halloween Kills? Did you guys like the David Gordon Green kind of reboot? ignoring all the sequels, like going straight sequel from the original, which already happened like 3 times in this franchise.
Yeah. I liked it for the most part. I know there was that twist that people were complaining about, but I thought it overall worked. And if you're going to have a new approach, go brutal. And they went pretty brutal, which kind of touched upon the original film. So I liked that, and I was looking forward to see what they were going to create with the sequel. So, I mean, and they made it for $10 million. They made a crap ton of money.
So much money.
It's smart to go that route. So I was looking forward to see what they would do with it in a second, and maybe correct some of the things that people, some hardcore Halloween fans were complaining about coming out of that movie, correct some of that a little bit in the sequel. So I was looking forward to it for sure. Cool. Anybody else?
Yeah, I was also looking forward to it. I actually really, really did enjoy it. I was a huge fan of Halloween, like the original franchise. And I thought this was a cool, interesting take. Kind of like really revamping it, revitalizing it, making it a little bit more modern. So that's what I wanted to see going forward. So I am excited for the next 2.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's bring this up, Ben. I know it's entertainment time, but Mark Andreyko has put this out there that he wants to do a horror division. Was this argued yesterday? Was this talked about already yesterday on SEN?
No, I woke up to this morning to this poll on the Facebook.
This is an interesting conversation on the heels of the Halloween Kills thing you're asking about.
Yeah.
It seems like an odd genre to create a separate belt for when you don't even have an animation belt or westerns. But you could argue westerns, which were huge for a long time in movies. You could argue a MCU belt, a DC belt. Like there's a lot of arguments you could make. Why does horror get its own kind of genre to get a belt from? It feels to me like this is people who want to have some semblance of a championship in the Schmoedown, wanting to create a division so they can be successful. Jesus. I remember when we first started, Brienne did the same thing. She wanted to create a Disney belt, which I respected because there's a lot of movies in Disney. That makes more sense to me than a
Disney belt makes more sense because you could factor in MCU and Star Wars and
absolutely
Star in there. I don't want to shut down the idea of having these separate belts, but I just wonder like where it stops. Like why start with horror and not, dramas or action adventure or science
romantic
fiction
comedies
or rom-coms. I know people really have loved our 2 horror exhibition matches, and you can get kind of those same kind of Star Wars questions of like, oh, who played the lead lead girl in Halloween 4 or Friday the 13th 8 and Jason 11D3rd.
Right. 11D3rd is good. That's the best.
Thank you. That's my Lord of the Rings talk right there.
In 11D, I love it.
Yeah.
11D3rd.
That's the unrated cut right there. But I just wonder like why. Just like where does it stop and like why horror? That's my only question. I haven't watched the new horror exhibition match, and I know we have the Dead Meat James Agent East and his wife on there. Yeah. And I love their channel. They're great. But I'm just wondering everyone seems to be positively reacting to it. Sabrina, I know you like horror quite a bit. Like I was on the meeting about elevated horror, which I know people hate that term, which is dumb.
Yeah.
Good plug.
How do you feel about this?
Thanks. I kind of agree, just because I feel like there's so much to do with horror. All those franchises and everything that we've kind of seen when we did talk about elevated horror, what horror has become. I think it's such a large genre. And I get where the point where it's like, where does it stop? Because, this is a wheel slice, like a genre wheel slice. But I support it because I would like to be a part of it. So
see, I think it feels self-serving a little bit, and I get it. You want to get a belt, but I don't know. It just seems like a weird genre to choose.
Well, I think.
Sorry. I was gonna say I would like to just I would like to pitch, and I would probably compete, but I would like to pitch a Goonies belt.
Yeah.
A Goonies division. It's just questions about Goonies because I would do really well on it.
Stays donated $20. I work in health insurance. Roast my career choices, please.
Oh, we can definitely roast that.
How much did he donate? $20?
Yeah.
All right.
No, you still have a job. You have a job.
You have a job.
You have a job that's never going away.
Yeah. Okay, I won't make them go cry in the shower for $20.
Yeah, I would say for 100, I will absolutely roast your career choices for healthcare. But it must be a difficult job to be in. That's for sure. You got to make some tough choices and say some things
now,
you really don't want to say.
The calls they're getting right now.
Oh yeah,
Listen,
exactly.
As somebody who lettered in speech and debate, I think that everybody should have the chance to be recognized for something. And why did they make it like all like different lettering and not like the sports ones so that we would stick out when we wore our jackets and people would make fun of us? What's the deal with that? Am I right, guys?
Yeah. I had letters for speech and debate as well.
Yeah, me too.
I also had it for cross country and track.
It was like calligraphy or something. You're like, you couldn't make it just like all the other ones.
They put that lamp at the bottom for mine, which is the debate one, and you see the football guys go, "Yeah, nice letters, guy."
Yeah. Well, just real quick on the back to the horror thing, just for one quick second. I don't know if I necessarily agree with a horror like a whole league or whatever, but I do see the argument only because horror is literally the biggest genre in cinema. And
over superheroes? Come on.
No,
that can't be
in
right.
history,
like
film
shoves
history,
on, like it goes
overall
through everything.
Yeah, it's arguably the first genre. Like, it's arguably the first genre is horror. Like, before, back in the silent era, most movies are kind of like relatively just like the same. But horror,
having been there, RB3, you don't know what you're talking about. It was westerns first. The Great Train Robbery was the first silent film. That's more of a heist western. But I hear your point. There were horror. If you study European cinema, there were horrors right at the beginning. So yeah, you're right about that.
John was an extra on set for the Great Train Robbery, so he was
train
there.
looked real. That train looked real, dog. Fuck James Cameron. That was a real train.
The way it came at you in the camera. Oh.
I ran screaming out of the theater.
I really would love to like go back in time and show someone like Avatar or like Transformers and watch them like, whoa! Have them freak out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what American Pickle is about, right? The new Seth Rogen film. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer, but he's like it's set in 1920s or something. Comes to America with his wife, falls into a vat of pickle juice, and he's brined for 100 years, and wakes up out of it, and he has to like figure out the world again and find his family. And his great grandson is also played by Seth Rogen, and he's like this kind of introvert, nerdy guy, and things are not going well with his life. So they like have this interaction, and they come essentially a buddy type thing and try to figure out his life, and then help the older guy become a success. So it looks interesting. But
that's a documentary, right?
No, yeah, totally a documentary.
Yeah.
After 3 or 4 blunts that Seth Rogen smoked,
yes. Yeah, perfect. It's actually a sweet trailer, but anyway.
To go back to the horror thing, though,
yes.
I think this is the thing that's so tricky about Schmoedown is I sort of feel like what I find so impressive about Schmoedown is that when you're competing in singles or you're competing in teams, you have to know everything. And I feel like that is why it's such a sport, is that you need to know horror. And I also think part of the reason why it's enjoyable is that then those questions don't have to be as nuanced as they are in the Star Wars League. Here's the catch, though. The fact that there is a Star Wars League, that's, and like,
only like 12 movies.
Yeah, it just sort of seems like, okay, so that now I understand, like, yeah, you're right. Like, why is there? So there's some part of me that's like, if it's just going to be, I don't know, like, I agree that there should be, I don't like the inner geekdom thing makes perfect sense to me. Here's what you need to know, and like maybe there's another division like inner geekdom that puts a bunch of things together. Like I don't know what that would be.
MCU,
but MCU.
But dog, that's
or like Disney.
But what Kate is saying is that like inner geekdom is MCU, DC, Star Wars, Star Trek. Like it's literally multiple things in one. So it's like. Right. What horror, you could do that with horror. Like you could do an elevated horror slice, you could do a classic horror slice, you could do a found footage slice, you could do like
like sci-fi.
Yeah, exactly.
Comedy, like Screams, the Screams.
Exactly.
Scary movie or scary movie.
Yeah.
So I could, I'm not like ruling it out or anything, but if there's a big enough audience for it, then absolutely, like. Maybe we put the exhibition on the main YouTube channel, like refresh it, start from 0, and see how the views do. Honestly, because Dead Meat, like that's a great big horror personality. So if people come to see that, then we can get more people like that in the horror division. Because like there's so many like horror centric YouTubers and movie reviewers out there, so it could be good.
What's elevated horror? Children.
It's like art house horror.
Hereditary.
It's like The Witch, Hereditary.
Like that movie Devil, it takes place in an elevator, so it's an elevator.
Nope, get out!
Got it.
Bye, everybody.
right, what's next, man? What's next?
I think that's really all the news we have for today.
Right.
We got a new Wonder Woman animated series planned, which looks awesome.
I hope my friend Susan Eisenberg gets to voice her. Go ahead, yeah.
Dylan O'Brien is set to lead a new, Fairley Brothers movie called Beer Run, the greatest beer run ever.
A sequel, isn't it?
Is it?
I thought there was a beer run movie before by them.
I actually watched a little bit of a thing. It was a PBR presents, and it was talking with the guy. What was his name? Something, whatever. He went to Vietnam to visit his buddies that were in the war to go bring them a 6-pack of beer or something like that. And it's actually, there was this like 12-minute thing. I only caught a little bit of it on YouTube, and I can't bring it up on my phone for some reason. But what's his name? Something. Dickie something or
Dylan O'Brien?
No, the person that he's playing. It's an interesting story, and I got more intrigued by it by watching this YouTube thing, and for some reason my effing phone won't pull up.
Chicky Donahue's?
_AM_Lee donated $20. Oh my lucky stars! Happy to see Kate and Sabrina this morning. Here's some money to keep you all around. Did you all see the Umbrella Academy 2 and The Boys 2 trailers?
I have not seen the Umbrella Academy one that dropped this morning. I was grocery shopping, so I couldn't watch it. But this boys one, the boys one looks so good.
Wait a minute. Are you old enough that you get to go early grocery shopping?
No. They were open at 9. They were open at 9.
Oh.
Did you see the gray hair on this? This is natural, son. No
that was a half-court shot. Half-court shot.
That was a half-court shot. Oh, my God.
I got something for you, yellow flag.
That's like when a defensive lineman comes off the corner and they whistle the play dead and they just slams the quarterback anyways.
Did you hear the whistle, man? But yeah, so anyway, yeah. But the Boys Season 2 trailers look fantastic, man. I can't wait for that to come back. Those look brutal. And that new Stormfront one.
Donated $20. Horror belongs in the intergeekdom. It's a geek center genre alongside sci-fi and fantasy, and it would make the league less studiable and more competitive. Good for the division, good for the players, good for the players.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Wow.
What do you mean by are any geekdom matches not competitive? Am I missing something?
Well, no, I don't think it means more competitive because they need to be. It just means that adding another thing, it would make it even more competitive.
I can see Kalinowski's head blowing off his shoulders right now.
God, that would. I feel like adding horror to Inner Geekdom, that'd be impossible to study for. Hey, here's 300 movies you have to go super, super deep on. Oh, and by the way, we're adding an entire genre to it, worth of over 100 years of film. So, good luck.
Smets is watching right now. He already started doing flashcards. He
Smets already got it on the terabyte drive, so he's already jogging to it.
Yeah.
Here's the question. I should know this, but I don't. Are Star Wars questions allowed in a singles match or a team match?
They are now.
Yeah, but as a wheel slice.
Yep.
But not what I'm saying is they're not necessarily.
Star Wars is not allowed as a wheel slice. It's thrown into the IG. IG is allowed as a wheel slice. So it could be Star Wars, could be Lord of the Rings, could be anything.
No, they're
actually I remember we picked
for singles.
For Ben,
I put Middle Earth on the
Middle
wheel
Earth,
for my RB3 match.
For IG though, right? Not for singles.
No,
really?
For singles. Yeah, but so I guess my question is, no Star Wars questions are woven into just like round one. Right? Of like a single.
I feel like I've heard Star Wars questions come up. Like I remember in the Who's the Boss Odd Couple match, Mark Andreyko got Who Plays Rose Tico in The Last Jedi.
Yes.
Okay, so
that was his 3-pointer. So it occasionally comes up.
Okay, so then horror would not be taken out of singles. Horror would be left in singles and teams still.
Right. Yeah.
Oof. That just makes
That's the thing is like you always wonder like how that's the thing is that putting horror and those kind of inner geekdom deep cut type of questions for horror, that'd be impossible. Like making a horror division and doing those kind of questions would make sense because then you have that like just that to focus on. But adding all those movies to the level that we have to study for inner geekdom, like that would be crazy.
I would love to see them add an alien category to inner geekdom, like Alien franchise. What? What's so funny?
Don't make me watch Alien Covenant and Prometheus again.
RB3, when you start your own trivia thing, then you can put that slice on. You're the only one who likes it, and then you want a Jurassic World slice.
No,
I know you.
I'm not saying
Come
that.
on.
No, just a Fallen Kingdom slice. Just a Fallen
that's right. Just a
Kingdom
Fallen
slice.
Kingdom slice.
Yeah, masterpiece.
Anyway,
If there's no Bad News Bears slice, then I don't.
Yeah, I talk with PJ Campbell. He likes Fallen Kingdom and he likes Crimes of Grindelwald, and I was like, that's it. We're doing a live watch along because I need to know what you like about these two movies because they're both awful.
I kind of want to have. Yeah, go ahead, Kate. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say PJ Campbell also likes the villain, the Death Star.
Oh, there's the shot. No shots here at the writers. No shots at the writers.
I know the writers are so protected. The rest of us get to make mistakes, but the writers
true.
aren't. We're not allowed to ever go after the writers.
No, we're not allowed to go after the writers.
Death Star question?
She's taking all her anger out on Dickie because he's a writer, so PJ gets it. PJ, you left your guitar plugged in
Again. Anyway, I know you said we got a bunch of Streamlabs and Superchats to get to. Do we want to have Brett do that the other promo first?
We are good for the day on promos
let's do it.
and ad reads. But yes, guys, so what do we
thanks for the anxiety attack.
Yeah.
What promo? Shit!
Bulletproof Coffee, improv now.
Yeah. It's really good.
So we don't have, we've got Streamlabs left over from yesterday, guys, but we still need a subject for today. So send in some Streamlabs, send in some Schmoebots or Super Chats of what you guys want to do for the second hour of the show. I thought since maybe we were talking about Peter Pan, like favorite childhood film or something like that.
Yeah.
If you guys want to do that,
well, that's good.
Up to y'all. Okay.
Favorite childhood film that you want either played as you die or as you're born?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Childhood film you want to see at your funeral.
Yeah.
Christy McGee, what an ego's boost for Hulk Hogan to hear the actor playing him is going to be physically larger than when he was playing Thor. So I do want to ask you about that, Rocha, because you're the other big wrestling guy. You were not here yesterday. Sure. How do you feel about Hemsworth playing Hulk Hogan? And that, Hulk Hogan is like advising on the film. How accurate of a biopic are we going to get? Stuff like that.
It's a weird situation because obviously Hogan did not have the best reputation on the backstage. A lot of people felt he was. Look, and Hogan was my hero growing up. I knew the Demandments, all the things you're supposed to do. Like Hulk rules, I had a Hulkamania bandana, the whole nine. I was a massive Hulk Hogan fan. And then, of course, all the stuff happened with him and the comments that he made, that he was recorded saying, very terrible situation. And then you start to investigate behind the scenes. Not the greatest guy. So sometimes, because the ego takes over and you want to stay on top, and you get buddy with the head of the company, and the company keeps making you the champion, something like that, right? Anyway, I think that if you get the right person involved in this, like Chris Hemsworth, he'll understand what can be in and what can be out in terms of the approach to the character. So I want to see warts and all. I want to see a Hulk Hogan biopic that's warts and all. And I think Hemsworth, after seeing how big he was for Thor and how big he was in Extraction, he can certainly play Hulk Hogan. And so I'm curious to see what he can do with that and what he brings to it. But I hope they touch on the real stuff along with the winning the titles and all of that.
Yeah.
And maybe even some behind the scenes about how tough it is to have been a wrestler back then in the 80s and all the crap you had to really eat in order to become successful.
I doubt that's gonna happen.
Yep.
But
couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I actually wish I was hearing that Hulk Hogan wasn't consulting on this.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, well, then we're going to get the real story.
Yeah, like we brought it up yesterday, Straight Outta Compton. Like, I love Straight Outta Compton, but, it glossed over a lot of Dr. Dre's mistakes in his life.
So, not just Dre. I mean, like, everybody in there and some of the nefarious stuff they did before they got into the group. And, but those are biopics. They do that. Look, Johnny Cash got to cheat on his wife and love another woman in Walk the Line, but they don't really explore how much he was, like, going behind her back and going after June. So, things there.
That's why you watched Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. That's the real biopic.
Yeah.
Chris the Hammer Thorne, movie theaters suing New Jersey saying violating constitutional right by keeping them closed. I can understand and why with so many other places being allowed to reopen. The state should just let them reopen and say no concessions to keep masks on.
I'm just pulling up my Constitution right now.
Oh,
and
here we go.
Where's movie theater? I don't see that anywhere.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
It was a headphone drop.
Alexander Hamilton.
It's funny because I was literally just about to sing the song from Hamilton too. Raise a glass for the four. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I've been obsessed with Hamilton like over the last like few days.
Really?
Like this has been like it's been amazing. Just finally, I know I'm like 5 years late to the hype, but like this is great. This is great stuff right here.
Yeah, they've got Fiddler on the Roof and West Side Story on Netflix right now. Watch like the first all the way to Life in Fiddler, and watch the opening number in West Side Story. God, that's some good music in West Side Story.
Oh yeah,
hell yeah, it is.
And the fighting is hilarious.
Well, you know.
They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna fight you. Don't do it."
Boy like that will kill your brother. Forget that boy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite musicals of all time. Right.
West Side Story?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
What's your favorite song?
I need
from West
Rocha
Side
to
Story?
sing Maria right
Please,
now.
I will do it right. No, because that's the white dude. I'm not gonna sing his stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll sing America karaoke. Sabrina, if we ever do a karaoke, we got to do America. I would do
I'm
the duet
always
with
down.
you.
That's my favorite song.
Let's make it happen.
Followed up with
Once
Be
the world
Cool.
goes back to normal.
But Cool is great. Cool is an awesome. Like that's my favorite number in the piece.
Yeah.
Cool and America are like 1A and 1B for me in terms of that movie. Yeah.
Yes, and then
they're
just like
doing
If
it
I
again.
Were a Rich Man, like him doing. I posted.
If I
that,
were
like,
a rich man.
that-
I didn't know.
that's
I didn't
what
know
I'm
the
gonna
Gwen.
do when I leave quarantine. It's just like if I were a rich man.
I didn't know the Gwen Stefani song came from that though. That was when I first watched Fiddler on the Roof. I was like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's right. She did sample it.
Yeah.
You youngins.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's a bop.
Paul McCartney was famous before Kanye West. I just want to make sure.
Just like
All right.
just shout it. I remember those tweets, man. Like
Reiner donated $20.
Thank you,
Hey
Ben.
gang, happy hump day. My fave childhood film is still in my top 10 of all time. Is Hook. I love the movie. A look into the psyche in an adult Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman as Hook is a top 10 character
Yes.
of mine.
Hell
Love
yeah.
this movie. Robin as Peter was wonderful.
Paul
Yeah.
Fall, Peter.
I-
Paul Fall.
I will say, regardless
there
of
you
how you
are,
feel
Peter.
about any of the Peter Pan movies, they always choose the right hook. Like Dustin Hoffman, Jason Isaacs. I never saw Pan, so I don't know how Garrett Hedlund does it. But I feel like Hugh Jackman as Blackbeard is basically the hook of that story without being Hook.
Yeah.
So they always choose like a good hook to like contrast Peter Pan.
Right,
Because
right,
I do love Dustin Hoffman in that movie. He's really, really good.
Yeah.
Sterling Attenborough, hey y'all, happy Tuesday. This is from yesterday. And a happy birthday to Baby Carrots himself, Mark Ellis. Have any of you watched or listened to the Sopranos rewatch podcast with Steve Sharipa and Michael Imperioli? It's a great listen, and they have the cast on for interviews.
Isn't that a bit frustrating? Kate, I wonder what you think about this. Like, because The Office has one too with
Scrubs has one too.
Fisher, right? Jenna Fisher doing it, and Angela Kinsey comes on. Like, I feel like, look, you guys got famous. Let us smaller people have a podcast talking about your show. You guys taking that corner again seems a bit unfair. I mean,
Especially with those shows. Like, if
Yeah.
it was like, Firefly or something like that, then yes.
one season.
Yeah, one season,
Yeah.
like breaking it down scene by scene. You are still getting residuals to
Yeah.
this day. You're good.
You're
John
basically
Krasinski just sold his YouTube show
Yeah.
for like $1 billion.
right. You're
And he's
kind
not
of
even going to
owning
be
that
a
corner.
And he's not even going to be a part of it anymore. Isn't that sick?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kate, about this? Steven Sharipa?
Well, I
Michael
sort
Imperioli?
of feel like if all of us are if in your heart you're like, I would like to get famous, is it not to be able to do that exact thing that they're doing? Do you know
to
what
do
I mean?
a podcast about the show
No,
you were
I mean,
famous for?
isn't it to be able to have success in any direction you want it? So like if that's that's sort of the benefit of having been famous is like
Yeah.
that's why do we want famous? Okay, yeah. If any of us want fame, of course, is because we want to have money. Okay, so let's say that they do have money. I sort of feel like, well, I don't know, like money's not going to keep them entertained for the rest of their lives. So if that's something that they really hold on to, I feel like it's sort of their right to capitalize on that. Like I don't know.
I was talking about that yesterday on my stream. It's like they could just sit on their laurels, and it's tough because that was all their breakout roles or first John's construction kills me.
Can you hear it? I'm muting my mic. Can you still hear it?
No. Once you mute it, yeah.
It's like a low rumble fart and somebody trying to escape from your closet. I'm having
PTSD though.
And one of those has to be true.
Yeah.
Rocha, if you want to turn
darn construction.
Or if you can actually turn off the original sound thing, it might help. For you.
But yeah, like I totally get what you're saying, Kate, because again, like this was like all their first roles, and it just happens to be their career-defining thing. And like, do they want to just collect residual checks and sit on their butts? They could, but like they're artists and actors, so they want to keep doing things. But I also get what Rocha's saying. Like there have been Office podcasts for years and years and years, and then Angela and Pam come along and be like, "Hey, we're gonna talk about it too," and everyone's like, "Okay," like boom.
Well, I have to say, Angela. I do have to say, Angela Kinsey. I listen. I'm sure I'm going to be corrected by all of you, plus the fans. But I don't believe I like. She goes to the pool that I go to in Burbank. It's like a public pool. You pay $2 to get in. I don't know that she's living large.
No, and I would agree with that. She's not, and because that was an ensemble piece, and it really was Steve Carell, Jenna Fisher, and Krasinski, and to a lesser degree, Dwight. I always forget his name.
Oh my God.
Rainn Wilson and Ed Helms probably is like.
Oh, Helms, right? Yeah. Exactly. That kind of really broke out from that. Everyone else really funny whenever they pop up.
Rashida Jones.
Oh well, Rashida I put on Parks and Rec in my head more than anything else.
I know, but didn't she start on The Office? Am I wrong?
She did. She was Jim's girlfriend for a season, and when you rewatch that, you realize that Pam was really the villain and not Rashida Jones.
Yeah,
I agree.
Interesting.
Yes,
I agree.
Yes, rewatch it. She did nothing wrong. It was all Pam.
No, I know.
Rewatch it with Fisher and Kinsey apparently, because they apparently also they'll get the sponsors, they'll get the money. You starting out from a place of love about a show, sponsors won't really run to you unless you're making like 100,000 downloads per episode or something like that. So it's like once those two pop in, they kind of take the market for it. So Imperioli and Sharipa doing it, same thing. They kind of own the market because who doesn't want to hear Moltisanti talk about what it was like being on the set? And Sharipa's, which one does Sharipa play? Is he okay, I can't forget. I think he's Bobby Bacalata.
Pilot.
I think he's Bobby Bacalata. So anyway,
and then like you have Zach Braff and Donald Faison doing Scrubs. Like,
are they really?
Who's not going to listen to JD and Turk talk about Scrubs? Like that's literally the show.
True.
Michael Red Dingus. Hey guys, supporting a little support. Love all y'all. Had my first Star Wars Trivia Fan League match yesterday. Can't wait for coaching sessions in this month with Rocha. They've all been amazing. Really helped me with studying.
Awesome. Let's give you a little look into it.
Just don't tell him what you do for. Just don't tell him what you do for a living. He'll really get in your head.
What species was this character? I can't focus. You better learn to focus.
Tim Kiskubo. Biggest hurdle with the Hogan movie is the fact that he was a notorious liar and exaggerator to put himself over. Finding the truth with him involved is next to impossible. Everybody go check out Cocktails and Casting with Ben and Sabrina. Sup, Roxy. Sorry. Well, I'm glad me and Sabrina are both on today. Yes.
Oh, I'll be Roxy. Hi. Thank you.
I don't get it.
Thank you. Hi to you too.
You got to hit the mic like you're turning it on. What?
Yeah.
I did not make her confused. I just used her rasp voice. I just said, hi.
Oh, no, she's not confused. I just like that she turns it off and then turns it back on. It's such an interesting tick. All right, next.
Turishka Productions. If it wasn't for company policy, I would be ripping my shirt off in excitement at the Mahomes deal. I knew Winston was a good guy, but literally giving someone the shirt off his back is a bit much. Hashtag Black Gucci. Hashtag get a bra, bruh. Jeez.
Ooh.
Get a bra, bruh. that Mahomes deal was amazing, and then we didn't even talk about Colin Kaepernick yesterday, but that deal he signed with
let's talk about that
deal he got with Disney was absolutely amazing.
I'll see if I can bring up that oh no, I think he wanted to, but I think with that deal I think it's over.
You're done. Best thing that ever happened to him was to start this situation because it was from a good place and then people responded to it, not also in the NFL obviously, but outside.
I know. Isn't it crazy to think if he had done that this year, he'd still be playing football?
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's
well, I mean, you got to have a rule. You have to have a rule breaker to get changed.
Philip donated $20. Hi guys, love the show. I was wondering, are there any films you think you need to be a certain age to understand? I am 22 and just watched The Big and while I loved it, I feel I'll need more time to understand it.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. You have to. The Big Chill, you know, they're all in what they're all like protesters from the '60s who are now older, and they're like coming back together
Such a good movie.
reacquainting to themselves. Right, great soundtrack as well. So you kind of have to live a little bit more of your life, I think, to really get what is going on here and the things that are going on between them. So your friends have to get a little bit older as well, and you have to go through these experiences, and then you'll understand. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy the movie. Just means the movie will take an extra level of, I don't know, have an extra level of effect on you as you get older.
Although I don't know, Rocha, I was going to say, when I was in college, so I was 22, it was my senior year, and right before we graduated, we went off to a lake house, and like my best friend actually saved me because I almost drowned in the lake. I started to panic, but anyway.
Is there a guy in a hockey mask in the lake?
No, but there was like a moment when like we had music on, and we were like back at the cabin, and we were like, and I remember being like, this is our Big Chill weekend, only nobody died. It was sort of like there's that chemistry that happens when a bunch of friends get together that I feel like that part, I don't know, like that, like all of that whole soundtrack is so good too.
Yeah, but if
like
you guys
with all
got back together now, it would be interesting to have those conversations. Yeah,
especially because me and that guy would go around to try and make a baby.
Whoa. Okay.
Don't you guys remember that in The Big Chill? That's a plot point in The Big Chill.
They haven't seen The Big Chill.
You guys haven't seen The Big Chill?
These kids haven't seen The Big Chill. Kate, come on, Kate.
Oh.
Know your audience, Kate.
Wow. Rocha, am I as old as you now? Did I go to the grocery store early? I need Lysol wipes.
I'm a vampire,
Kate, you're
so
on that kind of cusp of you know a lot of stuff that I have, you know, the younger stuff, but I think I'm more on the Rocha end of this. I've never even asked him. It's never been revealed, but I'm pretty sure we're very close in age.
No. I'm a vampire. I've been around for centuries, man. The Big Chill slaps. Anyway, let's move on to this.
The Big Chill slaps.
All right, no.
Oh, it slaps. RB3. I'm with the kids.
You dig?
Walking in like Steve Buscemi with that skateboard over my shoulder.
Hello, fellow kids.
Hey, fellow teenagers.
I need to get Rocha the music band shirt. I need to get Rocha the music band shirt. And that, Rocha, whenever we get back to Studio Matches, that needs to be your first intro with the backwards hat, with the skateboard, with the music band. Like,
oh my God!
Like if next time you play Paul or Chance or like or Brendan Meyer, just like come in like that. Hello, fellow kids.
That's my genre. The young adult genre. I love those movies.
Oh my God! I gotta tell you guys, the Big Chill is fire AF.
Come on, you bitchin' dudes! Check it out!
Oh, the Big Chill.
I always wonder when the derailment's gonna happen, and I'm glad it happened here.
William Hurt in that movie is a real dilf.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
No cap?
There it is.
No cap.
No cap. Bet. Yeah, bet.
Deadass?
Donated $20. Slaps.
Oh my God, it's still going. Okay.
Yep.
Dig it.
50 Shades of Geek.
Oh
What do you call a triple threat match between JTE, Makuga, and Quevedo? Yosh.
No. Nice.
Got it.
Good job.
Trash Panda. How about the winner of Brett vs. Warfather plays the winner of Makuga vs. Dewberry? Hashtag Shelf Life Tournament 2020. I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay, so Warfather's gonna play Dewberry next.
Hey.
Oh.
We said that about Brett not beating Bonnie.
I said Brett would beat Bonnie.
I saw the Big Chill. I don't remember it. But
I got all my money on Brett. 50 Shades of Geek. It's so hot in here. This heat is killing me. Why is it so hot in here? Oh, Winston is here. Now it makes sense.
Ooh.
It's getting hot in here.
Christian Ursula scared me as a kid. I watched that movie when I was 4 and didn't watch it again until I was 16.
Which one?
Ursula from Little Mermaid.
Oh.
Yeah, Ursula.
House
That song
Heisenberg.
is the best.
Jeremy Johns just posted his review of Hamilton and randomly included a snippet from an old commercial featuring Roxy's acting coach. Thought Roxy would want to know.
Oh, we'll let her know.
Somebody send her a
Also, Ursula, she's a thick boy. Does that work?
Boy.
You could have said thicky.
Thicky.
Apologize.
She's a
Yeah.
Ursula's
I've never heard
thicky.
Thicky before. I've never heard Thicky before.
Is that the British?
I thought like Thickboi. No, thick boy.
You could do that one too. That one's
Thank you, Ursula.
It usually
thick
applies to
boy.
boys though, but
Isn't
Yeah.
it thick boy like with the comma there, or are you saying thick boy?
no.
I'm just trying to be young.
Is she gnarly? Or...
She's fresh.
Oh,
She's fresh.
That's by the way, that's when you know you're old. As soon as you say something, I try to keep up. My friend said, just listen to your kids' music, no matter how much you don't like it. Always try to keep up with it. And there's suddenly a point where you say something, and they just look at you and they say like, "You're so cringe." And you're just like, watching parents try to do the floss is so cringe. I'm like, fuck you, it's a stupid dance.
I do the talk of the ticks. I like
it. But you shouldn't talk to your kids like that either.
That's a good one. Thank you, Ben. I thought that was a good one to come out with. I'm not going to do no dance on TikTok. Anyway, what's next?
I'd love to see you and Abby Frill team up and be like,
Oh, that we've talked about. I would be down with it.
It's always
I love
this.
Abby.
Sir Led Attenborough, hypothetical question. You own a drive-in movie theater and you want to put on a double feature on a Saturday night and sell the place out. What two movies do you pick? Which would you pick first? Mine would be Raiders of the Lost Ark and Inception.
Okay.
Oh.
I say Raiders of the Lost Ark. Big chill.
Sold out.
Big chill.
Sold out.
Dolomite.
Well, if you really want to sell it out, don't you think Raiders of the Lost Ark and Back to the Future? Or
Sunblazer420 donated $24.20. Wreck-It Ralph 3. The Internet Breaks Ralph D.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Oh, that's his favorite movie from childhood.
Ah, okay.
All right.
Wait, does that
Wreck-It
mean you
Ralph.
are a kid?
There's
wait,
Wreck-It
no.
Wreck-It Ralph
there is
3?
no
No, it's not
Wreck-It
Wreck-It Ralph
No.
3.
Just saying,
Wait.
the internet breaks his D. He's just making a joke.
Oh, God.
Oh.
That was a dick joke.
Come on, kids. Keep up.
Boys888 for life donated $20. What's
Wow.
up, crew? As usual, thanks
Wow.
for the laughs. Question: why is now one talking about this Gambit short play for keeps? It's better than his part in Origins by a long shot. Not perfect, but entertaining.
I haven't heard of this. What is this?
Yeah, I
Gambit.
don't know what that is.
Yeah, short film. Wow, sounds
Yeah.
interesting.
I guess
What
that's what
keeps-
nobody's talking about because we haven't heard of it.
Brett, what?
But now you've brought it to our attention. We will look into that. And we'll have our people.
Oh yeah, it's a little 20-minute film on YouTube. It got released a week ago.
Brett must have had a shot of that bulletproof coffee. He's on fire today,
Oh,
right?
I did.
Jeez,
Yeah.
it's coming after everybody.
Who played it? Who? Is it Gambit? Okay.
No, that wasn't
the
mean.
double
It was just we're all
feature.
stupid.
I did see.
It was mean to us, Brett.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Oh wait.
I'm gonna watch this thing. All right.
John's gonna watch it right now.
Yeah, right now.
Let's do a
watch
watch along
Yeah.
of us watching John watch it, but nobody
yeah,
talk.
That's perfect. Yeah.
But also, John's just gonna pretend like he's not watching. He's gonna be like, "So I'm muted because of the construction." But
Yeah,
it's just
sorry,
like
guys.
he's watching.
Or keep slaps. All right. What do we got?
Drive-in. I put The Thing would be up there.
Oh.
Followed by like Cabin in the Woods, because I feel like I always associate drive-ins with like more like horror stuff. So that like the Thing and Cabin in the Woods would be my two.
Yeah, Cabin in the Woods is a good choice. I'd probably go with. Also go with Inception. I'll probably go with two recent ones. I'd go with Inception, and I'd probably go with like Skyfall or something. Like just something more actiony. But yeah, those are probably my picks.
A ghost just broke into someone's house.
Yeah, who just walked through the door? That was scary as fuck.
No, I'm in my living room, so my bad.
Oh, okay. No, I was like, he was like, dun, dun,
This reminds me of like I just watched Ace Ventura, like his exaggerated sneaking around. He's like,
Drive-in theater, I would do Twister because there's a scene in Twister where a drive-in movie theater gets taken out.
Perfect.
I think that would be so
Exactly
scary.
what you want to see.
Exactly what you want to see. And then I would follow that up with Capote because Philip Seymour Hoffman's in Capote as well.
Oh wow!
Well, you guys are packing these drive-ins out.
And I will
all
be
of those
there.
films really spanned an age group. You're really getting the whole family out for Cabin in the Woods and Capote.
Hey, Big Chill, why don't you give me your 2 movies, you critical
All right,
motherfucker?
I'm doing Jacob's Ladder and Deliverance. Okay, fun for the whole family.
Daddy, why is he telling me he has a pretty mouth? Oh, he's a thick boy. Anyway,
I was
say,
thick boy.
Go ahead, Sabrina. You actually.
Well, I was gonna go Scream and Cabin in the Woods just for like the meta horror angle, but I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna go for like the indie kids, and I'm gonna pick Lost in Translation and Her, since they kind of like overlap.
God,
like
so sad.
I don't know if that would sell out, but all right, I respect it.
Well, I mean, who's gonna sell out Twister?
Okay,
oh, Twister would sell out. Are you kidding?
It would for sure sell out.
First of all, when you've got a forehead as big as me, you have to support Helen Hunt. My job. All big foreheads matter.
Wow. Poor Helen. Wow. Have you watched
woke up in a cold sweat somewhere like
who's done that?
What I do?
Have you watched the Mad About You comeback?
No, I used to love her though.
Okay.
On that, yeah. Is it good or no? It's tough. No, I can't. I don't think I can.
There's been some work done, and it's uncomfortable. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
it's on the Spectrum or something like that. So
yeah. Oh my gosh, that was Kate.
Michael
Michael Red Dingus.
It's my
Rocha,
job.
you should ask. Okay. These are all backstage questions from yesterday.
Oh, by the way, I'm surprised nobody said Mad Max because that's the topic.
No.
And their cars.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I watched the first Fast and the Furious at a drive-in movie. Everybody peeled the fuck out afterwards. Everybody was like racing down the street, running it at every light. And I was like, 14 at a time, and I was just like, I'm very uncomfortable right now. Like everyone was
That's
like
I'm sitting in my Prius.
Like when we would go see Step Up or Step Up 2, the streets, when I was like 9 years old.
Didn't need the H. Didn't need the H.
And then we thought we could.
Next.
We thought we could all breakdance.
Yo, show us the moves.
On the RB3.
Yeah, no, literally, show us those moves.
Breakdance.
Show us those moves.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like when Rocha and I saw Breakin' when it came out.
And we went to see.
Do you want to rap? You want
that's
to
our
rap for
double-
me? Hey,
No,
Kelly
that's-
K, won't you come this way? I'm going to take you to the place that we all play. I'm going to take you to a place that we go and they call that place the Miracle.
There's no
slap.
stopping.
They had to save the miracle, you guys. It was a teen center.
It slaps.
There's no stopping us. Look, we went to see Breakin' and Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. That was our drive-in movie. Breakin'.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I've had them both on digital video discs.
I tried watching that again about a year ago. Breakin'. That girl cannot dance. You're just watching that movie.
Oh,
you're
Kelly
like,
K?
Yeah,
she's a little bit more of like this kind of
yes,
thing.
and you're just like, ooh, this is rough, man. This is rough.
How is no one schmobotted in for Brett to sing anything to us? Like, I need someone to schmobot in a Brett musical.
By the way, the villain in Breakin' is Christopher McDonald, who's the villain in Happy Madison. So,
and Happy Gilmore?
Happy Gilmore.
Challenge.
Sorry, Happy Gilmore.
I can't
Challenge. Yeah.
get over that Brett just said digital video. That's what DVD stood for.
I was a DJ at high school, and one of the dads came up to me and kind of leaned on the thing. And goes, you guys using those new compact discs? Or, like they had been out for like 10 years.
Crazy that you're that dad now.
Yeah.
Remember when you used to like
$20.
oh my
Hey
god.
guys, don't feel bad, Sabrina. When I saw you got served first time, we went outside to dance in the rain. Scream this for you, little saint, and was a fat kid.
You got served. Let's
You Got Served is so bad, but the dancing is so good.
Yeah. True.
Marion cannot act.
Oh man, Steve Harvey.
Oh my
I love
God.
it. It comes in.
Right.
Remember how
Steve
big
Harvey.
of a flex it was when you had like a binder full of CDs and like you'd be like,
Yes.
oh, what are we gonna listen to on the way to lunch? Let's see.
Yeah.
Or in the what do you call it, the visor? You have
Yes.
those 10 in the visor.
You had those are like your to-goes.
Yeah.
And then you
I'm
had the
pulling out.
catalog on the passenger seat.
So Sabrina, a CD looks like it was basically so you know how music you can't hold your MP3. You can't hold an MP3. You can't hold a digital file. So you used to be able to hold. Oh, okay. So
Oh, there it is.
yeah.
Whoa.
Oh my
That's
God,
called a jewel
her face.
case.
Your
And-
acting's really good. Sabrina's a good actor.
I'm like,
That's called a jewel case. That's right.
Put
Yeah.
this inside, and it plays music. in your
407 years ago.
yeah, I don't know about all that. I'm good.
Sounds too much. Sounds like
Yeah.
too much.
I'm good.
Getting back to today, guys. Porg Hub. After hearing all those matches Christian announced yesterday, if the singles and teams championship matches are all exchange faction members, you may have to have Finstock do a Blue Chew ad for you because the guy's going to be walking hard on.
Wow.
There's no way that the championship matches is going to be Finstock Exchange.
There's going to be 0 Finstock Exchange people because Dan's going to lose to Ethan Irwin. Corruption's going to be Founding Fathers, and then the Pride's going to be Corruption. So it's all good.
Absolutely.
I'm kidding. I love
you're
everybody.
close.
So.
I tried. Did I do it?
And isn't Finstock always a walking hard on? So
Ew.
isn't that a contradiction?
Sabrina, comments?
Yeah. You have a show from the night, right?
Yeah, we have Ask Gucci tonight. So
Nice.
speaking of walking hard on, you'll get a lot of that from all of us.
Will you
All
ask?
that.
Will you ask Gucci for me what he said to you to steal you from me?
Ooh.
I could tell you. He was just like, "Hey, little mama, what's good?" He was like, "What you up to today?" And then, we talked for 3 hours, and I was like, at the end of the conversation, I was like, "Damn, this man is intelligent." So that's how you know.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
So
I was
he
like,
can
knows
slip you
what the hell he's
something
talking about.
through a phone call. That's good.
That's intelligent.
Yeah.
That's big brain moves right there.
That's good. Yeah, I want everybody to replay that part and watch Brett's face. He was so uncomfortable with that joke. He did not even hide it. He went.
Heroes 89. Hi guys. So my girlfriend wants to know if you guys would ever have a male versus female trivia tournament with managers even competing. I personally don't think this is a good idea. Your thoughts?
Why?
I think you answered
You
your question.
wrote it out. You said. That's a
Clark Wolfen, one of the
I
best
think this is a
promos.
bad idea. You're correct.
Clark Wolfen, one of the best promos, laid it down. She said, "We are the league." I'm talking
Yes.
about when people wanted to have a women's division and a men's division, a women's champion and men's. She's like, "No, we are the league." Damn right. And so it's like, nah, separating it out immediately implies some kind of division. And the last thing we want to do in 2020 with everything that's happening is create division. We want to create unity.
Exactly.
So that'd be weird.
It's not like the WNBA and the NBA. Like, it's not like a physical sport. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's mental.
Well, it's a
Well,
sport.
and that's the thing is, I think that's exactly right. I think men and women's brains, they can be trained exactly the same. They could know the exact same amount. So I think it's but there is, and I'm not saying that women aren't unbelievable athletes, but the reason that women and men don't compete in like the NBA together is because like women's bodies evolutionarily are made to do different things, and so it's the fastest man in the world to run will always be faster than the fastest woman because a woman has hips that are, you know what I mean, and that's why you see when there are like sort of genetic variations, like something like Michael Phelps. The reason Michael Phelps is so good is because he has like this genetic.
Yeah, he's got like a triple jointed shoulder or something like that, and like his feet, his ankles can
he has
go
full range
down. Like
and his like wingspan.
dude was like literally built to swim. It's crazy.
Yes. So there might be a woman someday that's born with some sort of genetic thing where her hips don't do that, but like our hips, we can't move our legs as fast as you can.
And they don't lie.
I will.
I want to say one thing. I wasn't cheating off any dudes in high school taking tests. So.
There you go. There you go. Smart. A smart move. A smart move.
Smart move.
Always cheat off the smartest lady. That's for sure. But I will say this a little bit to counter what Kate said. I just watched this hour-long documentary on HBO about the women of USC, the basketball players back in the 80s who came through. It's a great documentary. If you haven't seen it, if you're a sports fan. Cheryl Miller gets highlighted a lot because she had that injury. She was beating men on the court, Reggie and other people. Like, she was legitimately, she could have played in the NBA. She was that good. Unfortunately, that injury stopped that possibility down the road. But it's incredible to think about. There are female players that eventually will be able to compete. I don't say they'll win or beat, in the running. That's separate. But basketball, I think that's a very real possibility. You're right.
Basketball, you're right. I hadn't thought about that. Basketball probably doesn't have as many of the discrepancies in terms of speed. I mean, I guess height could affect.
She was dunking in high school. She was dunking in high school.
Because
that's amazing.
Even in Reggie Miller's game time, with the 30 for 30, he was like, it was hard being good when your sister was Cheryl Miller, and he said, he
beating
came home,
beating that one
every single day, and then he came in, he's like, one day I dropped 40, and I got in the car and I was like, I dropped 40, and I was like, oh, Cheryl, and I noticed Cheryl was being real quiet, and I was like, how'd you do? It's like, oh, I did okay. It's like, oh, I dropped 40. How many did you drop? 100. She broke the high school record or something like that. It was like Cheryl Miller was the best basketball player in a family that has a Hall of Fame basketball player in it.
Yeah. And Brett and I know in Fast Break, women can play with men. You remember that movie, Brett? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Gabe Kaplan. All right, let's move on. Next.
Hitman Hudson, best movie set in Texas. Also, this $1 is for Sabrina and Ben only. Please give them 50 cents to this each. Furthermore, tell them not to spend it all in one place. This is a lot of money after all. All right, best movie set in Texas. I do want to answer this, so that's a good question.
God,
isn't No Country for Old Men?
Go for it.
I'm sorry. Is No Country for Old Men in Texas? I'll say that.
That's a good one.
Yep. Davy Crockett, the old movie about Davy Crockett. He ends up at the Alamo. It's not a good movie, but I love it.
Oh, God.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, best little whorehouse in Texas.
I'm just like, what other movies take place in?
Hell or High Water is a good one.
Hell or High Water?
Hell or High Water is really good.
Listen, No Country for Old Men's up there for me in general. Yeah. So if that one really is set in Texas, I'm going that.
It is. It's set in Texas. Yep.
Yeah.
From Dusk Till Dawn starts in Texas. I know it ends up in Mexico, but it starts in Texas.
Somebody in the chat said Dazed and Confused. Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, that's in Texas.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's one of my favorites.
Ooh, MK Songbird says Friday Night Lights. I never watched the show, but that's my favorite sports movie. I think is Friday Night Lights.
It's a great movie.
The show is I only watched the show. I didn't see the movie.
Prescott over Wentz. That's right. Any thoughts on Tandy Newton's news from yesterday concerning Amy Pascal and her Charlie's Angels 2000 experience? Also, new trailers from Umbrella Academy and The Boys released today. Can either series reach Game of Thrones level of anticipation? So someone said this on my stream yesterday too, Rocha. What was this Tandy Newton? So, I didn't get a chance to read it.
I woke up this morning and read it. It was like 6 a.m. It's the Vulture. Vulture did it's on Vulture. You can go find it there. It's an incredible article, a great interview with Tandy Newton. And Tandy Newton spilling all the tea all over the place. Yeah. But in the context of her talking about her journey as a young black actress through Hollywood and the stuff that she endured, the representation issues that she struggled with also directors and actors, but also people claiming that she wasn't black enough, people claiming that she was too light, having to fight against the black community to be accepted as a black actress as well. So she talked about her entire journey. One of the things she talked about was Amy Pascal and how there was Amy Pascal wanted to kind of objectify her in a movie, was trying to force her to do certain things, and she was really taken aback by that. And so, and Amy Pascal, we know those emails came out where she was, saying some pretty inappropriate shit about, was it Don Cheadle?
She said stuff about Kevin Hart, Obama.
Oh, Kevin Hart. I'm sorry, Kevin Hart. You're right. Yes, I apologize.
Yeah,
Kevin Hart. Yeah, and so she survived that, and ironically, she produced Into the Spider-Verse, which has a black central lead, a black story within it. So it's a complex thing with Amy Pascal. So I don't think people are going to go crazy about it necessarily because she can just pull out Spider-Verse as kind of a credential for her. So it's a weird situation, but you got to read it because the Tom Cruise stuff alone from Mission Impossible 2 is brilliant because she says Tom is so intense. He thinks no one else can do what he's doing, so he takes it on himself. And he was frustrated about a scene they were doing on the roof because the lines were terrible. And so he said, why don't we do this? Why don't I play you, you play me? And then he essentially was trying to give her a line reading for the entire scene to show her how to do the scene. So you see that play out in her interview. And she talks about directors taking advantage of her and things like that, and talks about Westworld. So it's a great article to read, and it'll give you a whole new like appreciation for what Tandy has done and her career. She even talks about Norbit, for God's sake. So everything's in here.
I forgot she was in Norbit.
Oh yeah, she's in Norbit. So she talks about it all.
And the whole situation with Amy Pascal, I don't know why we haven't canceled this lady already. Actually, I do know why, because she's one of the most powerful women in Hollywood.
Yes.
And unfortunately, like, if you could say as much racist stuff as you want, you could be as problematic as you want. But just because you run Sony Studios, you basically get free license to say, do, or treat people whatever way you want to. So it's not surprising to me what Thandie Newton's saying, given how problematic Amy Pascal is. We should be having an active movement to cancel her. I've been saying this since 2015. She's part of the problem. This is exactly what Oscar So White is about. This is exactly what all of these fights that we keep having in this industry is about. And it's time that we like actually literally take a stand to it, because it's disgusting knowing how they treat Black actors, Black actresses, Black creators in this space. And frankly, it's 2020, and we shouldn't even be condoning that. We shouldn't even be letting Amy the reason why she does Spider-Verse, John, is not because she cares about Miles Morales. It's because she has a deal with Spider-Man. Like, she does all the Spider-Man movies.
That's a fair point.
So
That's a fair point, RB.
I'm sure if anything, she wanted to kill Spider-Verse for all we know. And the movie, so literally, just so people can understand, she literally said that Kevin Hart was a whore because he asked for more money. She said that Obama will like Ride Along because he's Black. Like literally, and other creators have come out and said it, and all she said in her apology is like, oh, we're sorry for making racially insensitive comments. No, those weren't racially insensitive. Those were racist. Racism. We shouldn't be allowing that in Hollywood. So people should be tweeting about this. This should be a big story. I'm glad Thandie Newton came out. It takes a lot of courage to stand up to one of the most powerful people in Hollywood. So I applaud it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, RB.
Well said. But real quick, did Obama like Ride Along?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ, Kate.
I don't know. It's a really good movie. It's a funny movie.
But Pascal left Sony, so she's an independent producer now. After that scandal, she left Sony, so she's an independent producer. So
but she still gets backed by Sony.
She does.
Yeah, all of her movies are through Sony.
This also, but RB3, this is, I think, another problem that I'm seeing is that women are not being held accountable because of all of the stuff that's come out on the Me Too stuff, and it's like, we can't fire the women. Of course you can fire the women. Of course you can fire women. Like if they do the wrong things, then then you can fire them. So I wonder if part of her being protected is just because she's a woman in Hollywood. It's not. I just sort of feel like I feel like accountability has to be in all directions, otherwise it doesn't mean anything. I take no pleasure in Harvey Weinstein being fired. I know he's on a one whole extreme. I take no pleasure in that. If there's a woman that's being just as abusive in different ways, gets to keep her job, then I don't feel as great about the Harvey thing,
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well said. What's our next thing, man?
RB4. Have any of you seen the show Big Mouth?
What?
Name's RB4.
You got some explaining to do, Mr. RB3.
Yeah, somebody got to explain this to me, because I never heard it. Jeez Louise.
Where have you been, Dad? I've been waiting for you. No, I'm kidding. Have any of you seen the show Big Mouth? I think Kate and Brett would especially like it. It deals with kids growing up through puberty, but it tells us in such a hysterical way. Nick Kroll and John Mulaney are comedy gold. Love what you guys do. Hey, Brett.
Hey. Oh, you had me at John Mulaney. I'll watch it.
It's a pretty funny show. It's super vulgar though. Like it's crazy vulgar.
We actually our Netflix icons are the hormone monsters. Dickie's the man hormone monster, and mine is the Maya Rudolph hormone monster. And Neil was like, "What are those?" Yes, Big Mouth. I've seen Big Mouth, and they've just corrected something that they should have never had been problematic in the first place. So
with the
happy for
voicing
that,
over the
with
character.
Jenny Slate.
Jenny Slate.
Yeah.
Monkey 45. I love Peter Pan. I need Peter Pan. I crave another Peter Pan movie. I trust Disney will do this good. I love all Peter Pan films. I need this now. Okay, well, we found the audience for it.
Looks like that drive-in is sold out.
B. Arthur can get it.
Yeah.
Let me just say, wow. Finally saw Jaws last night, and what a great film. Also, holy butt. I love that. Holy butt, how is this movie rated PG? I know there wasn't PG-13 back then, but there are some extremely gruesome kills, and you see some nips while this wasn't rated R.
They were loose back then.
Yeah, we were a little loose with that PG thing back then, which was, for Brett and I as kids, it was like, oh. You know, it was like nice to see these things sneak through the PG ranking.
Big Chill's rated G.
Yeah, all right.
I'm gonna watch The Big Chill now.
Yeah. I'm telling you,
I have no idea
I think
what
you'll
it
love
is.
it. It's got an incredible soundtrack.
Wait till they smoke the Mary Jane.
Yeah.
One of those weed cigarettes, as Rocha puts it.
Little left-handed cigarette.
Sabrina just left to smoke a left-hand cigarette.
Yeah.
All right, Sabrina.
I went to go watch The Big Chill.
Is that a real thing, or is that a saying the kids say these days? Is that like a code for something?
What? Left-hand
Big
cigarette?
Chill? Watch The Big Chill?
Oh, no. I wish.
Hey, everyone, please keep sending in your Streamlabs, your super chats,
Yes.
and Schmoebots. We're a little light today, so please come and support the show. We have to hit certain marks and be consistent throughout every day. So please keep sending stuff in. We got like half an hour left in the show, maybe a little bit more if we can read everything.
All
But
check
Cup,
our
keep
phones.
sending
Yep,
in.
Christian. Okay.
Yep.
Keep sending in.
And also, we're
Got it?
guys, we have 850 people watching and only 321 likes. Make sure you guys like the video. It helps so much with the YouTube algorithms.
Yeah.
The mark is always 500 likes for the day. Let's try and get to 500 before we leave in the next 30 minutes. 850, you guys. That thing is free. I realize donations can be tough during these COVID
The
times.
RCR Crest
Liking the videos
donated $20. Haile, have you ever watched a movie that had Alistairs in it before their prime that made you go, really, that's where they got their start? I watched a kid in King Arthur's Court for nostalgia's sake, and I was surprised to see Daniel Craig and Kate Winslet.
Yep.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Yeah,
He's so young in that.
He is.
Look
Like
at Johnny.
I just-
Look at Kevin Bacon in Friday the 13th, or look at Johnny
Yeah.
Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street. You're like, oh my god. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Speaking of The Big Chill. Oh, sorry.
It wasn't even like a starring role, but like I watched an episode of Community, and Paul Walter Hauser has like a one line. He's like, "Hey, we're doing something in the cafeteria," and then walks off screen. I was like, "Holy crap! This guy's like Oscar nominated now. It's crazy to see this."
There's I think
Hi,
it's
Sabrina.
It was good.
Kevin.
Big Chill was good.
Oh wow!
Wow, you watched it on triple speed.
She put it on.
On
I
a digital
believe-
video disc.
Here's a trivia question: who was cut from The Big Chill but is present as the dead man's hands?
I will
Like his
remove
body.
myself from this equation since I know who it is. But go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
Michael J.
Anybody?
Fox.
Great guess. Michael
That's
J.
right.
Fox was probably an infant when this movie was shot.
Dead man's hands?
It's the guy, the friend that dies.
Oh.
They had done originally John can correct me if I'm wrong.
I have a
about
new
this.
guess. Kevin Costner.
You look at someone in the chat said it.
Compton.
Kevin Costner, it was like his first film, and they cut him completely, but you see his hands as the guy in the.
That's why Kasdan put him in Silverado, because he'd cut him out of Big Chill, so he knew he had to
didn't
make
know
it up to
that.
him by put him into Silverado. And he's great in Silverado. My God, he's
Oh,
great.
that's awesome.
Yeah, Compton. Kevin Costner's from Compton.
Oh.
Is he really?
I thought
Yeah.
Silverado was
I
filmed.
was
in
like,
Compton.
Silverado happened.
Wait, he went to a high school in my hometown.
Who, Kevin
Did he
Costner?
move?
Yeah, I
Did
think
he-
he
did he
he
move?
lived in child. I don't know, but
Wait,
I know he
Kevin
lived in Compton.
Costner's my father.
Are you
We've got a
RB4?
lot of conflicting Costner knowledge here.
I'm looking it up. Somebody in the
Come on,
chat.
RB.
Somebody in the chat. Hey, put in the $20 Streamlabs to
There you
tell
go.
us where
That's
Kevin Costner's from. There you
I'll
go.
make it 1,000.
Maybe he was
RB5.
born somewhere. And
I
then
bet he was. I
And
bet
they
he
ran him
was.
I bet he was born somewhere. You guys, I've got a hypothesis. I think Kevin Costner was born somewhere.
He was born in Linwood, California, which is right next to Compton. He grew up in Compton, and then I guess he moved eventually.
He's like, fuck this, I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
All over the place.
That's amazing. I
I'm
love
here
that.
for it.
He's the whitest guy there is, and he grew up in Compton. I
Yeah,
love
I mean,
it.
Compton
All right.
used to be white, so.
Yeah, used to be.
Trash Panda. My name is literally Rocket Raccoon, and I hate horror movies. And even I think a horror league would be great for the Schmoedown. MCU, which I love dearly, would exhaust inner geekdom. Time to change things up.
That's actually a fair point.
Yep.
You know, Yeah, that's a fair point. It's a new genre. New genre you could explore. I think there should be a classics belt too. I think there should be
if
black and white
enough
classics
people
belt.
watch them and get interested in them, I think that I'm sure Christian would be open to everything. If he's getting a bunch of views on all these, I
think we should have a Star Trek division too. It seems a bit unfair that we don't have a Star Trek belt just because Christian doesn't think it's a good. I mean, having that Federation symbol in the belt would be awesome.
That would be cool. Matt Chapman, I don't have anything to say, just stopping by to show my love.
Oh, thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're the man.
Sugar Gum, Brett, Matt. Have you watched BoJack Horseman? Sabrina, do you have any horror recommendations that aren't well known? I just saw a horror called Spring that's like Before Sunrise, but scary.
Ryan Chandler donated $20.
Thank you,
hey,
Ryan.
crew, thanks for being awesome. Can't wait for Rocha's match against Heath and Irwin. Rocha will prevail. Irwin is great too, though. Sorry, RB3, but today I'm rooting for Demolanta. Ace is the best, but I think Demolanta will take it. Hi, Sabrina and Kate.
Hi.
It's weird that I got it wrong the first time, but then got it right the second time.
I know, it is interesting.
He's learning.
So, Brett, have you watched BoJack Horseman?
No, it is on. A friend of mine has been pushing it to me, and he's. It is on our list of things to do. But
so good.
Don't
binge it though. It's too depressive
I hear it
to binge.
gets a little heavy.
It gets pretty real. Pretty real.
It's very funny, but very sad.
Yeah, so space it out.
Yeah. So do watch Sabrina, it after happy.
Yeah. Any lesser known horror recommendations?
Yeah. An interesting one that I just recently saw was Come to Daddy with Elijah Wood. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one, but that is, it's something definitely. So I would recommend checking that out because it's kind of like a horror comedy, definitely a little meta. The story is really interesting. So that one, and also for like a body horror, that's kind of more like a thriller, Swallow, which I know me and RB3, we reviewed.
Oh yeah, I like that actress too. I can't think of her name right now.
Just want you
Haley
to
Bennett.
Yeah.
You just suggested Come to Daddy and Swallow. I'm just just saying, Sabrina.
Quarantine's been rough.
I was gonna say.
I remember being that young.
I don't know how you feel about Ben's shelves, but that's an option, okay? She said
no. Where am I? Sunblazer 420.
Yeah.
Can I pitch you all the script I wrote for Wreck-It Ralph 3?
Sure.
I'm wondering if that had to do with the Schmoedown that came in.
Right.
Plenty of seats. I was an extra on American Pickle. It's shot here in Pittsburgh. Really cool to see how they shot the scenes with the older and younger Rogan in the mix. Any of you have a favorite TV movie set you've worked on?
Oh, kind of set that I've worked on?
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't worked on a set, so.
Well, I've worked with
Schmoedown.
Schmoedown. Schmoedown is a great set. I got to work on I had the pleasure of working on the show Hip Hop Squares on VH1. That was one of the funnest experiences I had. They shot at CBS Studio, so salute to that show.
My favorite film that I was in was just a great set. It was Fame. It was the remake of Fame that came out in 2009, and that was where I got to hang out with Megan Mullally basically all day, and she and like Kelsey Grammer was there, and I just felt like I was just like on my game that day. We just were just basically doing bits all day long, and the majority of set is just sitting around and waiting for the shots to get set up, and then.
So I couldn't do it anymore. Yeah. That's why I quit, because I was like, But
that was the fun one.
Wasting my life. Yeah.
Once I did the dating game, I was like, I'm out.
It was on Let's Make a Deal.
I got video. I'm not joking.
I forgot. I was on Bill and Ted 3, the set for that one.
What? The one that's coming out?
I remember you sharing that video.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I was in that one. That was cool. That was
you
a lot
just
of fun.
snuck on, or you're gonna?
Well, I don't know. They're probably not gonna.
And 8 for Life donated $20. Hey guys, any two movies you can switch leads to make a better movie. Since I wanted to love Valerian, if you switch those leads, I think it would have been infinitely better, and Passengers still would have worked.
Agreed.
I was just like, even before he said Valerian, I was gonna say get Dane DeHaan out of there. I love him in Chronicle, but he was so miscast in Valerian.
What's her face too? She was terrible too, man.
It's so surprising because she's great in Carnival Row, that Amazon Prime.
Oh, really? Is she good in that?
She's really, really good in that.
Okay.
And so I don't know what she was doing in Suicide Squad and Valerian, but she's great in Carnival Row.
I would get Robert De Niro out of The Irishman.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. You're not gonna give that young actor a chance?
I know he's a young startup, but
I look at the Hulk. I look at the Hulk films. I would replace Liv Tyler with Jennifer Connelly from that other Hulk, from the Ang Lee Hulk film.
Yes.
If you have Jennifer Connelly and Edward Norton together, that's a hell of a combo for a Hulk film. Nothing against Liv Tyler. I just think Jennifer brings way more depth and talent and ability to that role in that film.
She's got like such that nurturing like aura to her, Jennifer Connelly, in that first Hulk film. Like I think I wish Jennifer Connelly was a big, like, I don't want to say bigger actor because I know she just got the
Top Gun.
She's in Top Gun, and then what's that series? Snowpiercer. Like she's in that. She's like, when I say I want her to see her in more, like I said that about Rachel McAdams, and it's like, oh, she is an A-lister. Like I know that. I'm just saying, like, I want to see more of her because I really like Jennifer Connelly. Plenty of seats. I would. Oh, did that one? Matt Chapman. I guess I lied. I do have something to say. While I don't think the Schmoedown needs any genre-specific belts at the moment, I do, however, understand why it would be wanted. Horror over most other genres has a very passionate fans who specialize in it. I agree.
PC
Totally.
donated $20. Ben Goddard, thank you. You're awesome.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Look at that.
Nice PC.
Thank you, PC. Appreciate it.
My 2 cents. Nobody says that horror questions in the IG would need to be super deep cut, that you find in more specific categories. If you want to be a little bitch about the number of movies, then just see the franchise horror category from the Patreon match.
It drives me nuts when people comment like that. Go ahead, Kate. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, well,
Well,
which
no,
one of
I'll
you-
say
which one
fucking something about that.
Yeah.
That's stupid because that's the point of the Inner Geekdom category is you are deep cut questions. Otherwise, you play in the singles or teams belt. Even there are single cuts, deep cut questions. Yeah. That's the point of these niche leagues because you go deeper and deeper. That's why Star Wars is in Inner Geekdom, and then Star Wars has its own division, and you go crazy deep with Star Wars.
Yep.
So
But the
if
question-
you put horror in Inner Geekdom, then you would have to have deep cut horror questions in there.
But the question is, do you want to be a little bitch about that?
Yeah, apparently.
And I hate some. And
That was the question.
I
Do
get it.
you
We're
wanna
a
be,
bitch.
just
Yeah.
everybody raise your hand if you want to. Everybody just now. We're going to ask the question again. Who wants to be a little bitch about this?
Oh my God.
I do.
Okay. It's just, okay.
No.
Okay. 5 out of 6. Okay.
That's fine with
Well,
that.
now we have our answer.
Yeah, I get some of these comments. I go. I know. I get it. We're a sports league, so some of these people are gonna. Some of these sideline warriors are gonna come on with their tough talk. It just drives me out of my mind sometimes. I like to take some of these people because I ain't your conventional nerd. I like to take some of these people and drag them into the spotlight. Let's go toe to toe on the table.
I was like, don't drag him anywhere. Okay.
Drag him onto the chair and go toe to toe on the spotlight. Who's the little
So,
bitch
Rocha,
now?
you should have raised your hand. You do want to be a little bitch about
No,
it.
I don't. I want them to
okay.
be my little bitches.
Oh, okay.
I want to make their tushies. Let's make their
TKO
little
on you.
tushies until they're red.
Yes.
Just take that, you little
Trash
sticker.
Panda in chat has the best comments. What if I want to be a big bitch? I feel left out.
You go, Trash Panda. You big bitch. You be the biggest bitch.
That was the perfect response. And speaking of which, Trash Panda with the Streamlab. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trash
Favorite
Panda.
childhood films are Aladdin and a Goofy movie. I could recite both
Oh.
movies line for line. I had a VHS tape and cassette soundtracks on rewind a lot as a kid. Brett, what does VHS stand for?
Yep.
I don't know.
So Sabrina. There
Video
used to be.
home something. I do know that VHS was American
The
made
video
and
home system?
Beta was Japanese, I believe.
Video home system.
And
Video home
because and Beta was a better quality thing, but the USA made one. I think I learned that in a class in college, but I don't know what the hell VHS stands
So,
for.
but Sabrina, before there were even,
Yeah.
so you have to imagine it was a rectangle, and there was
Pause
actual
them.
film.
because
You
you'd
can pause
ruin
them.
them.
And
did
please
not
be
have one to
kind.
pull out.
Rewind.
Yes.
Please be kind. Rewind.
I did
And
not
you
have
had to
one
watch
pull out.
previews for movies that came out 6 years before.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I feel like
20
I've seen
minutes.
those at Goodwill when I'm
Yeah.
like searching.
Yes. That's it. That's
Look like
right.
fossils.
Coming this fall.
Yes.
No, it came. It came already. Boom.
I will pay anybody who can find me the Big Chill VHS.
Oh my gosh. I bet it's out there. I bet.
Oh, of
Your
course it's
birthday?
out there.
50 Shades of Geek. Gonna watch the Ace Demolanta match on my birthday tomorrow. Can't wait. All right, stay offline, 50 Shades
Well,
of
it's
Geek,
on
'cause
tonight,
you know,
so,
yeah.
you know.
Stay off Twitter and the Facebook
Maybe give
page.
yourself an early birthday present.
Yeah. Tim Kaskuba. Sup, gang? Hey, Rocha. What's up with the one-on-one NBA trivia match between you and Nost? I've already publicly volunteered to write questions. Just give me the go-ahead. Favorite childhood movie that isn't Star Wars is D2 The Mighty Ducks. Classic.
Oh, I
Good
love
choice.
that.
The movie that's better than the original.
Quack,
I will say
quack,
that. D2
quack,
so much better
quack.
than the first Mighty Ducks.
Look at Ben climbing up that hill to die on it. Look at Ben. That
That's
movie
right.
is better than the
I
original.
will say it right here and now. The Bash Brothers, come on.
Come get it. Yeah, that came up in a recent episode of the Top 10. It's a podcast I do with Matt Nost. He has that podcast that he does about the NBA, but he thinks he knows more about the NBA than I do, and that really rankled my feathers, or ruffled my feathers. And I said, "Oh, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do a Schmoedown, NBA Schmoedown trivia thing." So somebody, Tim Kaskuba, who's one of the big fans of ours, wants to officiate that. So we'll see maybe down the road. It'll be a lot of fun though.
Anyway. Did any of us actually ever say our childhood films, or?
No.
Oh. So what does that mean? Let's delineate that. What does that mean? Does it mean one we still go back to now that we discovered in childhood, or one we loved in childhood but we don't really watch now?
Either
Ask
or,
the,
because
ask
like
the guy. Ask the guy. Ask the guy
RB.
that's under your house right now.
Oh
Yeah.
What do you think? I don't know. I could do that. I'm Latino. Can't touch me.
I was gonna say.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that, John.
I can.
Oh.
I can.
Oh my
And he is Latino. He's got a lot of tats down there too. It's a
My
little
favorite
scary, I'll be honest
childhood
with you.
film
Alright.
was Pete's Dragon. It always made made me cry, and it was on television a lot. And my dad said, "Why do you do that to yourself, Brady?" You know, like every time I'd watch it, I'd be sitting there like this, and he said, "You'd start watching it, and you'd just be bawling." He's like, "You know, I know you love the movie, but every time you start crying."
He throws you a football. Go play some sports.
No, he was never like that.
Oh, yeah,
he
that's
was
good.
not. He was a good guy.
That's great.
Goonies for me. Goonies. I mean, there's no
Goonies,
question. Goonies. Still
Goonies,
works for me
Goonies.
now. Worked for me then.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Here comes Rocha.
Here
No,
comes Rocha.
I get it. If that's the time to see it, is when you're a child. You don't have to deal with the reality of what they're presenting to you in the film.
Sabrina's gonna say Incredibles 2 because that's the movie that came out when she was a child.
Oh God, I hate you. No, I haven't revisited this one in a while, so it's Incredibles. No, it's
Iron Giant.
That was
Iron
a
Giant.
Giant's great.
Yeah, he's
Hell
like
yeah.
my favorite one.
Yeah.
I got it. Aladdin is up there for me too because I grew up like with that trilogy, like not trilogy, but like Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and Lion King, like just
Oh,
back
that's
to
so
back
funny.
to back.
I always think of Beauty and the Beast is the second one. That's so
Oh,
funny.
Beauty and the Beast is up there too. I think
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast was 89, right?
Beauty and the
I
Beast
felt
was
like it was
90
Little Mermaid.
92.
Yeah.
92, yeah.
Oh, okay.
92.
I thought it
Little
was
Mermaid was the first one, right?
Right. Yeah. I thought
think.
it was like Little Mermaid. Then
Oh, no,
Beauty
I'm
and the
sorry.
Beast and
Yeah,
Aladdin.
you're right.
Yeah.
Little
Anyway,
Mermaid
sorry.
was the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
Little Mermaid is the first of the Renaissance. Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast was my sister's. I wasn't a
Mine.
big
Do I
fan of it.
remember any movies that were around when I was a kid? I
Yeah.
don't remember, no.
Well,
They didn't exist.
did they? Yeah, we're just in black and white.
He
I
doesn't
think
want
it's
to give up
It
the
Steamboat.
depended
years.
on the jazz piano player that was playing along with the Charlie Chaplin film.
Steamboat
loves-
Willie.
He
It's
loved. I was
Steamboat
gonna
Willie.
say he loved the general.
Yeah, Buster Keaton. Nice.
Yeah.
Steamboat
Yeah.
Willie. I actually saw the original. There you go.
Yeah.
RB3.
For me, it was Lion King. The original
Oh,
Lion
yeah.
King was
Nice.
up there, and then probably a close second would be Spy Kids because I love Spy Kids when I was a kid. Like I
Spy Kids is
love
great.
Spy
Great
Kids.
one.
I will say one of the funniest moments is when he's got the thing handcuffed to him, and he like you just see him in the background, and he goes up to the wall to try and smash it, and it hits him right in the face. I don't know how they did that because the acting the kid does is so good.
Yeah.
Eric donated $20.
Whoa.
I'm 22 now, but I still grew up with VHS. We had a lot of VHS movies in the early 2000s too. Was this
True.
not a thing in the USA? I remember watching Blues Brothers and I still love that movie to this day.
Yes.
Yes. Love
I
that movie.
do think 22-year-old Sabrina, you can answer this.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with
Yeah.
VHSs or no?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, you did. Oh, okay.
I did.
So
I
we're
did
just-
too.
Same thing with everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we both did. I think. I honestly, I think pre 2000. If you're born before 2000, you still have VHS.
Yeah.
I think that's just the general rule.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the first DVD we brought home was The Cell, the Jennifer Lopez movie.
What?
Like it was just like it's so random. I just remember that like when our first time we bought a DVD player, that was the first DVD we rented from Blockbuster.
Parents are like smoking cigarettes, watching the reaction on your young face. How warped is Benny? Look at Benny, he's crying right now. You're gonna grow up, kid.
I also love that Brett, clearly there could have been some intervention early on that Brett needed that no one gave him. He liked to sit and sob, and no one was like, let's get this kid some help.
It was all that was on. It was.
Why you do this to yourself, Bretty?
Why are you crying all the time, Brett?
I have a very sensitive heart.
He's a sensey boy.
But it really got me a long way.
All right, we gotta hurry up.
Yeah.
We got 5 minutes. 50 Shades of Geek.
Donated $20.
Thank you.
Hey now, do not make fun of the VHS tapes. Rocha will tell you it was light years beyond the 8-track. Don't worry, Rocha, I am older.
Yeah, sounds like it. If you mentioning 8 tracks.
8 tracks.
8 tracks are music. VHS.
What is it?
Sorry.
Betas, yeah.
We figured out a way to take a VHS and then use it to record long periods of music. Like, so we would make really long, tapes of different mixes and things like that. Because all you had to do is put a piece of tape over that one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
We prevented me.
So, mic drop. Hurry up, Ben. Come on. Let's going.
Yeah, beta VHS. Beta VHS.
Ben, tell that handcuff story again.
Pot or kettle in this situation?
Yeah.
Karen.
I'll go. I'll say I'm pot. You can be kettle. I'm
Okay,
kettle.
cool.
I'm kettle. I'm kettle.
Okay.
All right.
Rocha, I'm still waiting for an answer to my question from a few days ago. What did you think of Eurovision? Also, hey, Sabrina, always nice to see you.
I will let you know when I finish it. I'm still an hour into it. I can't bring myself. Apparently, I stopped watching it right before that sing-along, and apparently the sing-along is what really cements how good that film is for a lot of people. So I'm just before. But I will find time to watch it for sure.
I mean, there's a review on my channel if you want to go watch.
Oh! Ding, 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 ding. I'm too busy studying for Ethan. Yeah.
Favorite movies from my childhood were Space Jam and Land Before Time.
Yes.
Land Before Time, that's a fucking good one.
That's a good one. Both of those are good.
Littlefoot's story really helped me cope with the death of my mom when I was around 7, and I love Space Jam because it was the first movie I saw in theaters with my pops.
Oh, that's awesome.
I remember going to see Space Jam with my dad too.
Yeah, I remember. I remember not seeing. I didn't see Space Jam in theaters, but I saw like Mike in theaters, and that was also a pivotal childhood film for me too. But
who was the star in that? What's his name?
Lil Bow Wow.
Lil Bow Wow.
Right. And Jonathan Lipnicki.
Yeah.
For Lil John, Lil Bow Wow.
Littlefoot, the death of mom, like I feel like that moment really gets overlooked with like sad moments in film. Like everyone talks about Mufasa and stuff like that, but
Bambi, yeah.
And when people say good movie food, like what movie, like food, they always make grass look so tasty in Land Before Time. It's like the weirdest thing. As like a little kid, like I'm like, man, I know I'm not gonna go eat that, but they make it look so good because like the rest of the world is like barren and desert, and then there's like a few patches of like leaves over here.
Then you go outside and eat the grass.
Go on, kid.
Yeah.
Crying about the cell.
Also to that person that just commented,
my parents
so
were
sorry
great
about
people.
your
I'm
mother.
sorry to know.
Yeah, that's.
Half French? I don't know. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Just
we have no bread today. You go eat grass. Watch Land Before Time. It's very
still doing bets.
Yeah.
To that person who lost their mom when they were 7, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
It's got to get that
156 Impulse. Hi, everyone. Hope you are doing well. Hugs. God bless. And John, thank you for your Outlaw Nation channel from last night.
Yeah. Thank you, 156 Impulse. Really appreciate you coming on and donating as much as you did. You were very, very kind. Yeah, last night I did a 3-hour stream for the Outlaw Nation show. It was a 6-month anniversary of the channel. So I just want to say thank you to all the fans. So
wait, so it's been 6 months since Collider fired you?
Oh, shit.
Wow, Kate. Wow.
Jesus,
was
Kate.
laid off. I wasn't fired, but okay.
Oh, laid off, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh
yes,
my
it's been
God.
6
Being
months.
shady. I'm being shady at Fernandez, not at Rocha.
Yeah. That's fair. I appreciate it. And by the way, I did talk about that situation a little bit for the first time, a little more openly than I've ever talked about it before. Last night, because I said everything's wide open. So for 3 hours, we talked about everything. And it was, and I didn't know if anybody was going to watch, to be honest with you. I had about 260 people watching live, and then by the end, it was almost 2,000 views by the time we finished.
Wow.
So I was very humbled by that. So thank you to everyone who came aboard on the
awesome.
and it's up now. You can watch it now. It's
Outlaw,
great
good
questions
stuff.
too.
You're a hardworking dude. And thank you, RB3, for agreeing with me in chat, but not, during the conversation about the grass.
I didn't want to interrupt.
He types in chat twice. I see what Ben's saying, but doesn't back me up here.
Didn't want to interrupt.
50 Shades of Geek. Rocha, can you confirm or deny that people in the 1940s did in fact do the hand thing that 40 Sabrina is doing? As someone who's been there.
What is she doing? This is the Italians. The Italians did this. What are you talking about?
DiGiorno.
No, pizza.
DiGiorno.
It's not delivery.
DiGiorno. Hire me for that commercial.
There you go.
Oh my
RCR
God.
Crest donated $20. Some of favorite childhood
Razor
movies
Crest.
were like live-action Disney films from the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
The Mighty Ducks, The Rocketeer, Heavyweights, The Big Green Blank Check,
Oh,
First
Rocketeer.
Kid Angels in
Blank
the
Check.
Outfield, The Three Musketeers.
Blank
I had a
Check.
great childhood.
Oh, Three Musketeers. Is
Yeah.
I just rewatched
Thank
that
you,
Oliver
Jack.
Platt, Kiefer Sutherland,
Yeah.
Three Musketeers. Still holds up. With
Charlize
Tim Curry,
Theron.
still holds up. It's so great.
Also,
Lando
that
with
person's name was the Mandalorian's Razor Crest. That's a Mandalorian ship.
Nice.
Nice. Remember that,
Shut
Ace
up,
and
Kay.
Andrew DeMolanta. Lando with the $10 of support. Appreciate that. Review and
Thank you,
Clay
Lando.
23. You guys sound like you all ate a nug today. Great show. Yep.
Do we?
Cousin Vinny, is it too personal to ask Brett and Kate if they are comfortable sending their kids back to school this fall since Donnie is demanding they reopen? I have a kindergartner.
I have a kindergartner. Our school district is being a little bit more nuanced about it. We will not be sending our kid back or to school for the first time. It's unfortunate. The school district's doing everything they can for a hybrid model, but my husband's not comfortable with it, so we are going to be doing distance learning with him. It's a real serious bummer, and I had a real breakdown about it, but I don't know that we could have been as careful as we've been for as long as we've been, and then just trust that everybody's been doing the same thing. So
Right.
we're trying to figure out if we pod up with another family, so that at least he can have that we can another family that's been doing the same thing. We're trying to figure out if that's something that makes any sense or if that's just as dangerous as but it would just be another family and we would all continue to not have contact with anybody else. So we'll see. It's been a real source of tension in this household.
Yeah.
My answer, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm not comfortable.
Yeah.
I just wanted to break it down a little easier for everybody.
Nope.
I'm not comfortable going outside anymore, but that's a different story. Agoraphobia kicking in.
They could have stopped this if they just got you off Pete's Dragon.
Next question, Ben.
Matthew Dawson. I just watched Dark City. I thought I had watched it before, but it was definitely the first time I'd ever watched it. And it was great. Have there ever been something you sure you watch and actually have it? Hey, Brett.
Thousands of times I've had this because I think I know it's just been like you're watching the Oscars and you've seen like a clip out of something so many times you feel like you've seen the film, and there's so many things like that I like. I think Cool Hand Luke or something like that. I'm totally seeing that. Nope, I've only seen that in montages.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. Deflated Brady over on Super Chat. Nice. Instead of belts, there should just be King of the Ring type events for these divisions. I'd love that.
King of the Ring. Oh, yeah, I can
Roberto Taylor. Good show, people, and thank you all. I'm rooting for Ace, the Outlaw, the Bandit, and Navarro because when they combine, we get one full Latino Schmoedown competitor speaking broken Spanish.
Oh, you never see me speak Spanish. I can speak Spanish, no problem.
Voltron.
A Latino Voltron is what you get.
I've seen you speak Spanish to your mom on the phone that one time she called. It was so sweet.
Yeah.
Ace speaks fluent Spanish, too.
She said, I love you, baby.
She did. I miss my mom.
It's so sweet.
Trash Panda.
Don't make me emotional. Shut up.
Sorry.
Trash Panda. Ursula got dim cakes, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it did get them cakes.
We know what that means, Kate. We know what that means.
Tim Sim. Theme music for today's Schmoedown match, Cinderella Man by Eminem. P.S. Reason why people love New Lion King, Ben, is because nostalgia sells. It does, but go watch the original. It's a lot better. And a half an hour shorter. Somehow.
Beyonce sells too, I think.
Yeah.
I don't have to watch your review now. That's good. I got it.
Yeah, exactly. Done and done.
There you go.
See it. Go watch the old one. Philip Hunt. Hey guys, my second question is, what is your favorite biopics? I love Gandhi, and it's not just because I'm Indian. Beautiful film.
You can't ask this at 12:02. We do not have. I mean, like
we should. Well, we can.
about
We can.
700.
Can we put a pin in it for tomorrow? Could that be?
I'm not on tomorrow or the rest of the weekend.
Just answer quickly. Just like the.
Okay. Gandhi's a great one.
Yes, Gandhi is one of my favorites. Absolutely, even though people make fun of it now, it's such a goddamn good movie. I love that biopic for sure.
Yeah.
What do you guys got?
I gotta go Malcolm X from Spike Lee, Denzel. I actually did a video on it for First Cut with my boy Kate Hughesby, and we talked about it and watched it for the Black Lives Matter stuff. So yeah, it's great. You should definitely watch Malcolm X.
For sure. I really like Rocket Rand. Sorry, Sabrina.
Oh no, all good. I'm gonna say Selena.
Oh yeah,
Great.
Yeah.
Great
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's, I don't know.
Anyone else, Brett or Kate?
I'm good. We'll push it along.
All right. John
Walk the
Ashford.
Line is good too. Walk the Line.
Yeah,
is
Walk the Line's great.
Yeah.
Have you all seen WWE Big Show stated he'd like to play the Kingpin in the MCU? Thoughts? Whoa,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Why don't you watch his show and tell me if you can play the Kingpin, for God's sakes? That I watched 3 episodes of that show on Netflix, and he was absolutely terrible. And look, I love Paul Rudd. He's the great at Big Show, but seeing him act was like, oh my God. So
Brett's face, everyone. Look at Brett's face. Look at Brett's face.
Next question.
We got a few left, and then we'll get out of here. 50 Shades of Geek. For the record, I live in Israel, so your today is my tomorrow. That's why I'll be watching the Star Wars match tomorrow. Got it, guys.
Right.
Oh,
Understood.
hold on. I have to say something to them. Boker Tov.
Dirty Mother Temple.
Yamolet Samer.
Got it.
Yeah, we'll be there. What'd you say? Okay.
I say good morning. Happy birthday.
Nice.
Just wanted to say you guys are the best. Hope we can get this combo more often. Thank you.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Storm Shadow rocks. As a kid, there was a movie I always watched called Bugsy Malone.
Yes.
That had Jodie Foster, Scott Baio, and Michael Jackson. Gangster movie, but the gangsters were kids and the gunshot pies instead of bullets.
There was
that
cream
sounds
puffs.
amazing.
That was an awesome film. That's my childhood film. I didn't want to give myself away too much, but yes, Bugsy Malone, Jodie Foster, and Chachi before Chachi lost his damn mind. Scott Baio. It was that film was so good, and the guy who plays the Italian gangster is this little small Italian overweight kid. He is funny as hell. So throughout the film, it is still one that holds up. It is absolutely fun. And I think a famous director directed Bugsy Malone. If I look at it, anyway, keep going, Ben. Just real quick, I'll look it up.
All right, 50 Shades of Geek. My favorite childhood movie and favorite movie of all time is Lion King. I cry every time I see it. I took my dad to see the new one, and he cried the whole movie. He's 56 and a veteran of 2 wars. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Purple Hills. Favorite childhood movie was Halloween Town. Do you guys have a childhood? Do you guys have childhood nicknames? I never got a nickname.
No.
Junebug.
Not a good one.
Yeah.
I hated my. I changed my name because of my nickname. So yeah, that's
Really?
That's rough. I don't like to. Yeah. Anyway, Alan Parker directed it. He did Fame, Midnight Express, Angel Heart, The Commitments, Evita, and Angela's Ashes. So
Now I really want to see Bugsy Malone. Like I just want to see the pies be bullets. All right,
Yeah,
that
so
is.
good.
We got one last super chat. I
do
love
it.
3 O'Clock High, underrated 80s movie.
3
Which one?
o'clock
12
high?
50
Yeah.
Shades Off Geek donated $20. Toda Rabba Kate.
Hey.
Hey.
Toda Roba. That
I
means
was
thank
in
you
a
very much.
commercial directed by the gentleman that I can't remember who directed 3 O'clock High. And he
Buongiorno.
also directed Rattle and Hum video. Why can't I think of his name?
Joanno?
No.
Rattle and Hum, you too?
Rattle and Hum was a
Rick-
French director, dude.
The video?
The video's from the movie.
You guys keep talking. I'm gonna.
Phil Jono.
yeah.
Phil Janot.
Phil Jono.
Yeah, Phil Janot
Yeah.
did do 3 O'clock High.
He directed
Damn, you're
me
right.
in a commercial.
Don't tell Brett, y'all. Don't tell Brett.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, you can never. Don't try and correct Brett because he actually knows
Apologize.
things. Like
I
He
apologize.
knows things.
And the great story is that the
Fair point.
commercial was taken off the air because it was too violent, and I made a lot of money in 2 weeks and probably could have made a lot more, but thanks to some shitty people that wrote letters back then, I lost my health insurance. So,
Yeah, see?
I think I've talked about this before, but
I love people trying to get rid of cancel culture. Cancel culture's been around since the caveman days. You're
Yeah.
not going to get rid of cancel culture, people.
And if
You're
I
not.
showed you, I think we could play it at some point. But yeah, if I showed you, and compared to the things people watch today, there's no, this was not violent.
yeah.
Alrighty, guys, that is it. Rocha, take us out, my friend.
All right, well, thank you all so much for joining us here. It seems like the 2 hours absolutely flew by. You know why? Because we had an awesome crew. Thanks to Brett Sheridan. Thanks to Sabrina Ramirez. Thanks to Ben Goddard. Thanks to RB3. And thanks to Kate Mulligan. And thanks to all of you who watched and listened to us. Send in your Streamlabs. Send in your Superchats. Send in your Schmoebots. We appreciate it. Keeps us all alive and doing the show and doing our thing. So have yourself an awesome Wednesday. Don't forget, 3 p.m. today, Dimalanta versus Ace Cabrera, Star Wars Final, Tournament Final. It's going to be awesome, a banger. It's going to slap, like the kids say. So watch that stuff, and then come back and see us tomorrow for another brand new episode of SEN Live here on the Schmoedown Entertainment Network. Take care until then. No!